604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing. Starting off your Friday morning at 66 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, getting you ready for the weekend, as you just heard from him and Kate Cowan, getting you ready for a wet weekend and a busy weekend as well. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. Guest list-wise, Lake Urgent Care is coming by at 6:50. State Representative Emily Chenevert going to take an early preview of the legislative session, but honestly, I want to talk a little bit more about St. George than the session. That's at 7:15. The folks from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center and Emily's at 7:15. Pennington Biomedical Research Center at 7:35. 8 o'clock hour. Let's talk with Wade Evans, the mayor of Central, at 8:15. And we're going to wrap it up with a little Foodie Friday, little Lenten fare today. We get Corks in the house. Looking forward to that. They're a really amazing story. It's the same people as with the barbecue, Kuyons, and they opened up shop on Government Street, closer to where it breaks off with Jefferson, and just phenomenal product, phenomenal people, phenomenal service. They got that dividing line on Government right there where you can't make a left into their parking lot. So, like, literally, they've got one-way traffic that feeds them. So. And yet they're thriving, amazingly enough. So we'll talk with them a little bit later on in the show. Right now, we start you off with top stories and trending. Let's go.
Number 5.
Grabbing this one from our news partners at WBRZ. Amid the East Baton Rouge School District's under-enrollment, they're hosting a number of meetings about their realignment plans, with one of the goals being to address the crisis. Last night, teachers and community members packed the Capitol Elementary Auditorium, letting the district know what they believe should happen with their schools when it comes to the plans. A big reason for the potential realignment of schools is the under-enrollment numbers that really are district-wide.
Number 4.
6 female students, this one takes us outside of East Baton Rouge Parish. 6 female students were arrested at Dutchtown High in connection with 2 separate on-campus fights yesterday. The Ascension Parish office, their spokesperson said all 6 students were arrested, charged with disturbing the peace before they were released to their parents.
Number 3.
1 person was injured in a shooting on Pembroke at 70th Avenue yesterday afternoon, according to officials. It was reported around 4:18 p.m., and that's literally all the information we have. Nothing on the victim, nothing on the suspect.
Number 2.
Man was arrested yesterday morning after he allegedly pulled a gun in the lobby of the Department of Transportation and Development headquarters. According to an email sent to DOTD staff, the man, quote, placed the gun on his head, said he needed help from the officer on duty. That BRPD officer at the security desk promptly arrested him.
Number 1.
BREC Superintendent Corey Wilson announced at a Recreation and Park Commission meeting that he is not looking to renew his contract with the organization. This announcement, of course, coming after the proposed bill by, I believe, Dixon McMakin is the author of this one, that would change the structure of BREC. If the bill passes, BREC would be overseen by the city parish and the 5 mayors within the parish. What's trending, John?
Well, President Donald Trump said on Thursday that he is asking Representative Elise Stefanik to withdraw her nomination to be United Nations ambassador.
I think there's more like an on in there. Stefanik. So, swing and a miss on this one. And this is the second one when you roll the clock all the way back to Matt Gaetz. Remember when his name was in the hopper?
Yes.
This is for a different post. But overall batting average for the president when it comes to things like this, not bad.
No.
Not bad. It's the misses are going to stick out more than the hits, right?
Right.
But when you look at the bigger picture, just about everybody. I didn't read up on the rest of the story. Admittedly, I didn't read up on the rest of the story to find out why.
Might dig a little deeper as well into that story. Maybe have more coverage for you in the 7 o'clock hour.
Cool.
On that. Hey, tomorrow's election day in Louisiana, though it will likely result in minimal turnout everywhere except for St. George.
I mean, first time ever they get to vote for mayor. First time ever they get to vote for council. They get to vote for their home rule charter tomorrow.
Exciting times for them, right?
I know. It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
You should mark the firsts of things like this, right?
Yes.
You should take note, take a moment, breathe it in, acknowledge the history that's happening around you. It's real.
Yes.
Hey, before you get on to your next one, you didn't I don't know if you had this because it happened in the overnight hours. You saw where a 7.7 earthquake hit Myanmar?
Okay, I'd be lying if I said I did.
Yeah,
I did not.
I didn't know. I was listening to it on the radio on the way in this morning during the
Oh.
Fox News rundown in the 4:00 hour.
Wow.
7.7 magnitude earthquake hits Myanmar, knocked down a building in Bangkok that was under construction, and they've got like a dozen workers trapped in there. There's one confirmed dead.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah.
7.7 in Myanmar, formerly Burma.
Good.
I'm sorry. I know.
No, but yeah,
I know it's a tragedy. I shouldn't do the
But-
formerly Burma thing because that comes from Seinfeld. Jay Peterman making the catalog.
In other news, we've got a shark alligator rule story coming in
Yeah,
from
we do.
Livingston Parish.
I saw that.
Someone spotted a baby gator roaming around a neighborhood, and the sheriff's office was able to remove the less than 2 foot alligator.
Yeah.
But the question has come up: if there's a baby, where's the mama?
Darn good question.
This is a good question.
You don't just randomly have a baby alligator in your neighborhood.
Well,
that baby alligator has
depends on where
permanent-
you're from, Brian.
Well, that's also true.
Because I'm from down the bayou.
Hey, mama's down to buy you too, though. You know that.
Livingston, yes.
You know that.
So this should come as no surprise, but this is just all too common where I'm from. But yeah, it's true though. I mean, you're wondering, right? And you're in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Right.
We know it's around.
Well,
so,
that baby alligator's got to hatch,
yes,
grow a little bit.
maybe
but-
even has some siblings around there.
Could be.
Yeah,
Could be. Every day that goes by, you got to wonder,
Oof. It's freaky, man. Just
Yeah.
keep your pets inside.
we live in a weird spot.
We do.
I love it. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
we
want to
do.
live anywhere else.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's weird out there.
Yes. Especially when you're reporting on this at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you ever
Yes.
see the stories, and I know you see them because you're from down that way.
Yeah.
But people wake up with like 6 foot alligator on their back porch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
And this is no joke, and I'm not kidding. Like my grandparents had an alligator living in their ditch in their front yard.
Oh,
It stayed in the drain. Like you don't bother it. It doesn't bother you. It's all good. That's just the mentality down there. Like it's just like it's okay. It's cool. I know.
I don't know how
it's
other
wild.
people, like people from around the world, when they look at us,
Yeah.
I understand why they assume
Oh yeah.
things about us, why they assume we're all Farmer Fran from
Yes.
Joe Dirt or the defensive coordinator from Waterboy.
The Waterboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just, I get it.
Home and where you make it. Home and where you make it.
You do that a little too well.
Brian, it's actually my real voice.
Yeah.
This is I have to fight not to sound
Right.
like that.
Yeah. I need one of those little translating earpieces.
Yeah,
One of
exactly.
those with get an English Dogeron going on.
Yes.
It's 6:12 at Talk 107.3 FM. Is it too early to start talking about lunch? Is
Nope.
it? Is it?
I'll answer you. I'll interject.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
not. All right. PF Chang's, Town Center, off Corporate Boulevard. You know I love the sesame beef. You know I love the Mongolian beef. You know the lettuce chicken wraps are beyond compare. But it's Friday and Lent. Can they hook you up? Yes, they absolutely can. Dynamite shrimp. Dynamite shrimp are unreal. They are so fantastic. Get the peppers right there in the meal with, like, not even just, they're not seasoned with the pepper. You get the whole peppers right there in the meal with them. Now, it's not overly spicy. It's not going to burn your mouth down, but there's a good bit of heat that comes with it, good bit of pop that comes with it, and it's very light. Get yourself lunch and not knock yourself out through the rest of the afternoon. Dynamite shrimp, one of the great menu items they've got over there at PF Chang's. Look for the giant golden horse.
Oh, so Cassie was supposed to be training today. She's not going to be able to make it.
I'm going to be in need of a Red Bull to go on top of this coffee. This is stupid.
Really? You at least got some sleep last night? Probably not, huh?
I worked baseball last night.
Oh,
I got home at midnight.
it's terrible. Also, I don't know if you heard, Cassie was supposed to be training today.
Yeah.
She's not going to make it in
Okay.
this morning. I don't know.
Okay.
I just thought you should know.
Well, thank you.
Also, baseball cuts.
Yeah.
I don't have them.
Ah! I added you to the list last night.
Why have I not gotten it?
BOUEF?
OEUF.
OEUF.
Yeah.
That would be why you didn't get it.
Should be.
But why didn't it kick back to me?
Yeah, I was gonna say it should still be. There's like so many ways to spell it though. But yeah, I would think. I don't know.
All right, you got them now. And I'm keep an eye on me during them because so I cut the highlights longer because they're meant to be cut for video, so you pair the audio with the video,
Right.
and they show the replay of the home run a couple times. So you got to have the commentary after it. I don't need all that for this.
Okay.
So the first one's going to run like 24, and the second one's going to run like 22.
Okay, I'll watch it. I got him. What was that? I don't know. That was I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, man, I get it. You like
Former
to see him I was
friend.
naked. That don't help me.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. Me and my dad, dude, we roll. It's so stupid, but we're like that guy in those movies. It's like,
But he's a longtime stand-up comic too.
oh yeah.
He's been funny since the 80s.
Oh my gosh, dude. Love him. Yeah, he was in so many things, but even Boy Meets World, like that's something I watched as a teenager. He played Sean's dad. Anyway, but it's so good. It's so good.
Why does my watch keep telling me I'm in the middle of a workout?
That's what this is, Brian. A 3-hour mental exercise. A little physical.
Did I pause my workout yesterday?
Ooh.
I did. I never closed it out.
So what, it's been
I was
tracking your workout since yesterday?
At 17 minutes and 38 seconds. That's when I had to leave. That's after my 35 minutes on the spin bike. So
cool.
It was 17 minutes and 38 seconds of weights. I had to make it over to LSU for baseball. What song is that? Ariana Grande. Yeah. Is it? I don't know. Well, hang on. Yeah. 618 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Sports is going to roll 2 segments this morning because I want to make sure we do a good job of covering last night's baseball game. First, though, let's look ahead to tonight. The LSU Lady Tigers going to take on North Carolina State in the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. LSU, really the last 2 games have looked better than they've looked all season, posting up 204 points over those 2 games. 103 in the first round, 101 in the second round. Coach Kim Mulkey talks about the reason they're looking so good has a lot to do with the health of their players.
Flage's here, Morrow's here. They're
Yeah.
all playing very good basketball. They're excited. Everybody's looking to score. They're looking to share the ball. I just think just having everybody back and everybody healthy, and it's fun to watch them right now.
So a side note when Flaugier was out is that other girls stepped up and learned that their role can be bigger. So it's not just about the big 3 anymore. You're getting more contributions from more players. I I know Coach Mulkey sat Flaugier out for her health, for her was she had shin splints? Anyway, it's turned out to be bigger than that. Meanwhile, Flaugier says NC State, they've improved since LSU beat them back in November.
Just because we won last time, Coach Mulkey always says it's hard to beat a team twice. So we're just going in with the mindset of just being the most prepared team.
6:30 p.m. tip-off. You're actually going to hear this one down the hall on 100.7. The Tiger will have LSU softball here. Here comes the Fox Business Report. I know I'm tired this morning. I know, like, I'm going to be a whiny little bitch about it all morning. I understand that. But get ready for it, because if there's going to be any energy at all in today's show, it's going to come up in the 6:35 segment. Oh, shoot. I need to get you those cuts. They're in a different folder. Remember the other day when I kept going across the hallway?
Yeah.
What day was that? And there should be 4 cuts.
Wednesday.
Could you see if there's 4 cuts in there?
Landry on 2, part 1, part 2. And then do you have
Julie
on 2 and Emerson on 2?
Yep.
That's the ones?
Yep.
And you'll just let me know which ones you're going to call for.
Say again?
You're going to call for the Landry ones first, or how you want to?
No, it's going to go Emerson, DeVilliers, Landry.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I didn't get a chance to do the YouTube thing yesterday because, man,
No worries.
I had a jet.
No worries. We might, if the 6:35 segment goes okay, I might use that. It's my own rant, but I might use that for YouTube today.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, yesterday, and then of all days, I was like, the bang and everything. I had to close the door. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Nice of those assholes to
like,
wait 5 minutes for me to do my interview.
Oh man. Yeah. I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, man.
Like, I'm not trying to slow anybody's progress down,
no,
but frick, give me 10 minutes. Literally, it's a 9-minute interview. You look at start time and out time. It's a 9-minute interview. And they were gone an hour later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's the whole day's work. We're out before 11.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. Of all days, I'm like, come on, man.
All right, we're going to start you off on I-12 westbound coming in from Denham Springs. Normally, we've got some volume by Range Avenue at this point. That's not showing up. What is showing up as you get closer to Airline Highway, that's where the volume starts to pick up. Oh, actually, I should say the volume picks up in between Millerville and Airline Highway, especially around Sherwood Forest. But after that, it clears right up, and you're smooth sailing on in the rest of the way. And that's the only problem on the interstate. 10 West is looking good. 10 East is looking good. Both bridges are looking good. 110's looking good. Getting off the interstates, looking at your surface streets. We got a brand new accident. That would be Mohican at Scenic. BRPD is working it. It is in the roadway. About an hour ago, there was an accident with injury up in Central. It was Gurney at Donovan Drive. Like I said, it's about an hour ago, but it is still on the board. So I do. Oh, wait a minute here. Hang on. This might be the same accident. Yep, it sure is. That was an accident with a fatality. So yeah, it's probably still being worked up there in Central. That's your look at traffic from the Shaw Bills Tire Traffic Center. We're at 625 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. All right, I wanted to talk turnout in this segment if we have time, because tomorrow it's going to rain, but we still need to go out and vote. It's important that we do. This is an important election tomorrow, even with no candidates on the ballot in Baton Rouge. In St. George, you've got candidates on the ballot, but for the most part, when you don't see candidates on a ballot, it's a much less sexy election. Much less turnout, fewer people give a bleep about it. Not the case with this one. In fact, when we get to the story, in fact, our news partners at LRN, Louisiana Radio Network, they should have this story coming up for you at 6:35, where Nancy Landry says early voting turnout was, quote, very brisk. So we'll get to that later on. Right now, though, let's continue on with recapping last night's LSU baseball game. Cade Anderson did not look bad for the Tigers, but he did have poor results. He was on the struggle bus last night, to be sure. Battled as best he could. Got himself, I believe, 4 strikeouts on the night, but did give up 3 home runs. Gave up 5 runs. I think all 5 were earned. This was the first time we've seen Cade Anderson exit a game when the Tigers did not have a lead. Fortunately for LSU, the bullpen stepped up. The Tigers battled themselves back with 2 home runs in the bottom of the 5th inning, starting with this one, a 3-run blast by Dickinson.
6-2, Mississippi State leads. LSU threatening here in the bottom of the 5th. The 3-2 pitch to Dickinson, high and deep to left field. To the track, to the wall. This baby is out of here. 3-run bomb for Daniel Dickinson. Dickinson, the Tigers' second baseman, his 7th home run of the season, a 3-run variety, and we got a 1-run ball game here at the box.
That cleared the bases out. And sometimes in baseball, when you clear the bases, the rally goes away. Not the case here, because after Daniel Dickinson hits his dinger, Pearson gets on, and then Stephen Milam comes up to the plate. And I will forever be impressed with Stephen Milam, because the guy's only like 3 foot tall. And the thought of him leaving the yard ever, the ball just explodes off of his bat like it did last night.
That'll get Stephen Milam to the plate. First time tonight, batting from the right side. And the pitch hit high and deep. This baby is out of here. Milam puts the Tigers on top with a 2-run blast on the first pitch he sees from Dane Burns. LSU now leads 7-6. Hey now.
LSU would take the lead at 7-6. Now, I mentioned the bullpen, and while Anderson did have his struggles last night, seeing the likes of Connor Bench come in for 2/3 of an inning, that was awesome. Comes in, he gave up 1 run. It was earned, so that made it. That's what made it 6-2 before the Tigers come back. But Zach Cowan came in, and Zach Cowan had 4 innings of relief, and over those 4 innings, gave up just 1 hit. Over those 4 innings, he struck out 7, including striking out the side in the 8th. And, oh, man, you know what? I got to take my pick of which call by Chris Blair here. I tell you what, let's go with the second strikeout from the 8th inning. Yeah. It's not opening. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen because Blair said he couldn't hit the ball with a shovel.
The 0-2 got him to chase this one outside. The right-hander couldn't find it with a shovel. And that's the second strikeout to start the top of the 8th inning. Zach Cowan dealing 2 gone.
He would come back with the very next batter, strike him out. I mean, it was, and then the Tigers would get an insurance run in the bottom of the eighth on a wild pitch. Just overall, one of those nights from a team where when you look at what you expect of LSU baseball, it was not the best night, right? You didn't have 15 runs. You didn't have Cade Anderson dealing for 14 strikeouts. But what it was, and over the slog of a 30-game Southeastern Conference season, you are going to have games like that where it's important that even on your best night, you figure out how to battle. I mean, even on your worst night, you figure out how to battle. Even when it's not your best night, you find somebody else who can step up to be the hero. You find the Zach Cowan who can come in for 4 innings and put up 7 Ks on the night and get you out of there with a win. So Tigers are scheduled for 6:30 this evening in the box. I say scheduled for because with the rain, it's possible that game could move up a little bit. All right, we're at 6:30 in the morning right now, so 12 hours away. Here's news. Mendui. No, it's not. But it's impossible to like. I mean, I know it's death and it's tragic and everything, but as soon as they said, like, there's a dozen workers trapped in a building, and I'm like, well, Bangkok's got them now. It just like Hangover 2 pops in my head. It's sad. Why am I sick like that?
I don't know. And I'm right there with you. And that's the real sad.
There's no time has passed. They're peeling back chunks of concrete right now looking for these guys. I forgot. That council person, that person running for council wanted to come on the show, and I forgot all about her email. Dang it. All right, time to get a look at your forecast. And yeah, we're expecting a wet weekend starting later on this evening. Here's Emma Kate Cowan. Maybe Friday. Bruh, because it's not a bottled warm day or a can. It's on tap. Every time you play this with John, hey, no, keep it going. I just feel like me and John Larroquette should be playing Mismatched Cops on CBS.
In my head, I just see the credits rolling, the opening credits open.
It's like a crossover between Starsky and Hutch and The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
And it's me and New Orleans' own John Larroquette.
That's it. That's it. It's good, isn't it?
Well, it's something.
Welcome back to Talk 107.3.
So much business to tend to.
So much business.
No, I know.
That's what we're here for, Brian. Having some fun.
Yeah, no, I know, because we have to.
We have to.
We have to. But no, I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because if we're not having fun, we're getting really, really pissed off.
Yeah.
And you know me. I would rather laugh. I would rather make some sophomore jokes.
Right.
I would rather this doesn't have to be serious all the time. You don't have to be running at 100 all the time. You have to wake up at a 10 and go to 11.
Yeah.
That's not the way it has to be. And tomorrow, there's 4 amendments on a ballot. And you just heard Nancy Landry saying a maximum of 17 is what they're looking at. 13 to 17% going to show up. And they're pleased with that? They're pleased with that? Amendment 2 that's on your ballot tomorrow reshapes the way we do business in Louisiana. And I got to tell you, I'm a huge proponent of it. I love it. I don't often come out, really strongly in favor of something that's on the ballot. I try to, make sure that all sides are heard from as best I can. I made offers to opponents for this amendment to come on the show. Just didn't work out. But I got to tell you, like, I'm bumping around. Okay, first of all, my fault. I'm bumping around the Nextdoor app last night. I know. I'm sitting there. LSU's losing 6-2, and I'm on the board. You know, I'm producing the game, and I'm scrolling through, and this one guy, and I'm only going to use first names because I don't want to dox anybody here. But Scott posts up a big poster with Jeff Landry. It says, "Stand with Governor Landry, vote yes on Amendment 2. It says yes, no, maybe so. And overwhelmingly, it's a bunch of no's. And as we've gone through this process, the most vocal opponent to Amendment 2 has been Woody Jenkins. And it didn't occur to me until last night. As I'm scrolling through Nextdoor and then over to Facebook, it didn't occur to me. But, you know, thinking about Woody Jenkins being the biggest opponent of this or the most vocal opponent to this, outside of maybe Pastor Tony Spell, it did occur to me last night that Ole Elwood was part of the group that wrote the state constitution back in 1974. Amendment 2 is a rewrite of Article 7 of that same constitution. So it's only natural that somebody who wrote the original document would want that work that he put in, a.k.a. part of his legacy, to remain for as long as it possibly can. That being said, it's important to note that with the mountain of amendments that we've seen over the years, the current Constitution is to its original self what Darth Vader is to Anakin Skywalker. But nonetheless, it's still technically the 1974 Constitution, which brings me to another question. Why are we still listening to people who wrote the 1974 Constitution? I'm not trying to be ageist here, but over the last 50 years, this state has done nothing but spiral. We've lost population. We've lost congressional representation. We've made our way to the bottom of every good ranking and the top of every bad one. Now, I'm not blaming Woody Jenkins for the state's woes over that time, but he is by far part of the worst generation of politicians this state has ever seen. How many people wrote that 1974 Constitution served time? How many people wrote that Constitution specifically so they could profit off the laws that they put in? Why wouldn't we want to close the chapter, close the book on that 50-year span of our history? Why would we want to vote no on Amendment 2 and prolong it? Now we have to add a second part to this equation. Along with the state's 50-year tradition of not being able to get out of our own way, a big chunk of that 1974 crew, which I said ran afoul of the law, a big chunk of that crew disgustingly profited off of the laws they wrote. Along with that, grew a distrust in government that we're apparently nowhere near getting over. Scrolling through the internet last night, bumping around like I said I was doing, bumping around social media, post after post, chock-a-block full of blanket no votes. And the sentiment that resonated? Never trust the government. And the part about that is, I can't blame them. Because after you put your hand on the stove for 50 years, you learn that the stove burns. But Julie Emerson, who wrote this bill that became Amendment 2, she's not a part of that generation. Look around our current state legislature. Emily Chenevert, Dixon McMakin, Caleb Kleinpeter, Lauren Ventrella, they're not getting any mailers from AARP right now. Paula Davis, Vanessa LaFleur, boy, if either one of them is 50, I'm going to need them to prove it because they don't look it. And those are just some examples from our area. I mean, you get outside of Baton Rouge, I'm not even sure Senator Jeremy Stein is old enough to drive at night. And my point is, and this isn't about age versus age. This isn't about young versus old. This is about, we have 50 years worth of a track record of getting worse. We've been doing it wrong for so long that we're not able to give the people who can fix the problem permission to fix the problem. And that's what Amendment 2 does. You know, longtime NFL coach Bill Parcells said, if you want someone to cook the meal, you got to let them shop for the groceries. Well, we elected a lot of new blood into our legislature in 2023. Let's let them cook. Instead, we get things like, well, if this passes, the legislature is going to want to tax churches. Jeff Landry said it on this show. He's the one that put the 10 Commandments in your classroom. You really think that guy is going to tax churches? How about we start with Julie Emerson? She's the one who wrote the bill. Is there problems religiously? Are there problems with are religious buildings going to be taxed? What did Julie say?
What rises to the level of being in the Constitution, right? Mm-hmm. And certainly, homestead exemption is something that everyone in Louisiana enjoys. That is not something that we wanted to put any fear in anyone that we were going to do away with. So that's remaining in the Constitution, as well as some exemptions for disabled vets and things of that nature. And then one important thing was several of the church organizations came to us and said, look, we totally understand what you guys are trying to do. We have some fear about church properties. And I said, I told them, I completely agree with you. I think that protecting our religious freedoms certainly rises to the level of constitutional protection. It does on the federal level. It should on the state level. They shouldn't have any fear of property taxes being imposed. And so we came up with some language to protect churches in the Constitution. And look, Brian, I'm not. I've certainly heard a lot of the complaints and the questions, and I'm very cognizant of that, and I appreciate it. When we sat down with the church organizations to come up with this language, our desire was to make sure that all churches felt that their properties were protected. There's been a lot of questions back and forth on it. I still wholly believe that the language that is in the Constitution that's staying in there completely protects churches.
Right.
And many, many, many church organizations agree with me because they were there at the table debating this.
So what does the language actually say? Reading directly from the bill itself. Property owned by a nonprofit, operated exclusively for religious purposes as a house of worship, residential housing for clergy, priests, or nuns, or a seminary or other educational institution training individuals for religious ministry shall be exempt from ad valorem tax pursuant to this section. Now, I think their hang-up is that word exclusively. But if you're a lawyer and you can't defend this in court, maybe check yourself on that front. Because, this sounds like it's protective, at least in my eyes. I could be wrong. Julie Emerson could be wrong. Jeff Landry could be wrong. House Speaker Philip de Villiers could be wrong. And the list goes on and on with the people who have signed off on this. We got a break. Lake Urgent Care's next. All that and only got the one cut. Was that the curmudgeon?
I bet it was. He hung up because I asked him to hold, and then he hung up, or whoever it was hung up. It's so funny. Like, I just expected him, but
yeah.
But yeah, I just asked him to hold because I was like, I don't want to.
We're definitely done entertaining that. If somebody's got something to say, they can hold till the break.
Absolutely, yeah.
The show has to be more important.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't have time for that. Oh. Studio. Hi, good morning. Yes, ma'am. And it was Miss Rachel. It's for Lake. Okay. No problem. Yeah, I'm glad you. I'm glad you actually did call in early. So that works. Let's see. What's the last name? I'm sorry. Okay, not a problem. All right. Yes, ma'am. I'll be up here in just a few minutes. Thank you. Cool. Miss Rachel.
Yep.
Troy, I'm with you, man. We need to break out the Family Feud. Let's see. the questions. What constitutes as a church? I'm a minister. Can I play my poker game as a congregation in my house at church? So I'll keep your money now in queue and just see. You want to catch the back end of it if possible?
The spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's past, say, 10 seconds in,
Yeah.
we should have deleted this promo. Yeah, no, just come back to us.
Okay.
.651 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. ABC News gonna be coming your way 8.5 minutes from right now with the latest on that 7.7 magnitude earthquake out of Myanmar, and a skyscraper that was under construction in Bangkok just collapsed. That'll be covered at the top of the hour. Right now, time for us to welcome in, as we try to every Friday. We've teamed up with the folks over at Lake Urgent Care to learn a little bit more about healthcare in Baton Rouge, and that's what we're doing right now. We've got Rachel Frick, VP of Patient Experience, talking about how their team balances speed with expert medical care, and the kind of the wide range of services that you can get from Lake Urgent Care. Rachel, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Brian, great. Thank you so much for having me back this morning.
No, glad to have you back on this morning. In fact, I want to start with something you mentioned the last time you were on. Y'all make an effort to be fast. Y'all make an effort to be convenient, but this isn't like this is not a have it your way experience. When it comes to healthcare, how do you balance those two?
No, absolutely. And look, that's not the nicest term that we could say, but we really.
Well, that's why I used it, not you, because I know you wouldn't go there, so I had to.
I know. I appreciate that. It's not a popular vote opinion for sure, but really convenience matters, but quality comes first for Lake Urgent Care. Mm-hmm. Our providers, they really rely on their expertise and our company's 25 plus years of experience to determine the best course of care. For example, patients often request antibiotics, but our antibiotic resistance program, it ensures we only prescribe them when truly needed to protect long-term care. We educate patients on why certain treatments may be better on their health, even if it's not what they expected. So it's really what's concerning about urgent care here recently is what I'm noticing. And what makes it difficult for us really to stand up against is we just don't want patients to feel like they can, I hate to say it, Brian, but order off a menu, right? Like this is your quality care first, and you really don't need that antibiotic, you don't need that steroid, even though they expect it and they think they need it. So we're really taking time to educate our patients on why you do or why you don't need it. So I just think it's really important for our patients to understand that.
Well, and y'all have gone to great lengths to get to that point to make that determination. I mean, you're accredited by the Urgent Care Association. There's value in that, and not a whole lot of people go after it. Let's stick with that. The accreditation from the Urgent Care Association. What does that mean for patients?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. That's really critical. So a lot of patients in our community are probably familiar with hospitals. They go through JACO accreditation. They're held to the highest standard. Well, there is an urgent care, I guess you could say JACO in a sense. It's accreditation is a big deal for us. So many urgent cares don't have it because the process is so rigorous. It holds us accountable to the highest standards in patient care, safety, and overall experience. It means our providers, protocols, and facilities meet or exceed national benchmarks for quality. Patients can trust they're getting not just fast care, but the right care from a team that prioritizes their health. Mm-hmm. And really just a fun little note for you, Brian, about the national accreditation for urgent care. Lake Urgent Care, many, many years ago, 20 years ago, actually, we actually wrote and helped set the standard for the accreditation for the national standards and benchmarks.
See, that's always cool when others turn to you for the guidance, when you're the one that creates the template that others are going to use. And it just lends to what y'all do over there. Because it's so much more than just minor illnesses. And in fact, I think a lot of people get a little bit confused there. Are y'all there for just minor illnesses? No, there's a lot more. Tell the folks what else is out there.
Thank you. So absolutely. I would say our second in line service line, and really just as critical, occupational health services. So workplace physicals, drug testing, work injuries, work comp, things like that. We absolutely offer that. And then we handle a wide range of healthcare needs from minor injuries and illnesses, on-site x-rays and lab testing. This has been a really great one for us, medical weight loss. So providing guided, medically supervised weight loss options like semaglutide. We also have a home tirzepatide program. I know we've been on your show before to speak about that, but I want to mention to that, the way we do it is safety first, right? Like, we're going to we talked about it. We're going to run your labs. We're going to really assess you, take care of you, instead of this, getting it sent to your home from an app or something like that. We really want to make sure that we're putting patient safety first there. But we also have virtual care. We talked about that, available for those who want to, have care anywhere. If you don't want to come in and skip the waiting room, we offer virtual care. And then veteran care. So we proudly accept VA insurance and provide care tailored to veterans. And so another really cool thing that I don't know that our community knows, when the Mission Care Act came a few years ago, we were actually one of the first urgent cares to launch that program.
We got about 2 minutes left with Rachel Frick from Lake Urgent Care. Stick with that virtual care part, because you can expound on that a little bit to talk about how Lake Urgent Care goes about fitting into our lives. Because I mean, it's hectic out there. I mean, I got 3 kids, 2 jobs. I mean, it's just, we're always on the go. That virtual care plays a big role, and it's not all that y'all do.
Right. No, absolutely. So like you mentioned, you just really teed me right up again there, Brian. But yeah, anywhere at any time, if you are not feeling well and you just need to stop and talk to someone and see what is going on, even if you need testing, once your provider, we have Dr. Amy Kistner, who is just a complete rock star. You talk about, has been doing telemedicine for many, many years. So again, that trusted quality care, you're going to receive that from a medical doctor. And so you're just going to jump onto our website, www.lakeurgentcare.com. You schedule your virtual visit, and then our expert telemedicine team is going to take great care of you. And again, we offer here in Baton Rouge drive-through services. So if we need to do follow-up testing, you just come through the drive-through at Drusilla, and we'll get you on the road to feeling better.
She is Rachel Frick with Lake Urgent Care. We always appreciate the time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You do the same. We're at 6:59 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Really enjoying this partnership. Every week I learn a little bit something new about that urgent care space, because it's not, it's not your traditional, you go to the doctor's office, you go to the hospital. What's there down the middle? What's there for all the others that fit in? So I appreciate Rachel's time and teaming up with Lake Urgent Care. Programming note right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Tonight, we're supposed to have LSU softball. That being said, this is weather permitting. There is a possibility it gets moved up. So if it gets moved up, it'll be an earlier start time for LSU softball, or if it gets rained out and pushed back to tomorrow, that'll happen instead. But the plan is right now, LSU softball right here tonight, basketball over on 100.7. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Matt makes a good point here, or makes my point, I should say. I get tired of backwards Latin loophole-filled language trying to make a decision. See, that's something that's from the previous generation. The lengths they've gone to correct that over the last 10 years, it's going to take another 20 before we realize that we're still worried about something that was happening 40, 50 years ago. It used to be the way. It was always the way. It wasn't written in a straightforward manner. I'm going to prop the door open for Emily. I'll be right back. Well, open the folder. It was. Okay. She was at 8:15, not 8:35. 8:35 was recorded. Okay, that's why. Yep. All right. 7:05 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. We're holding at 66 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We got a busy hour for you. State Representative Emily Chenevert slated for our next segment. The folks from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center after that. But before we get into anything, we got to knock out top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Are we looking at school consolidation in Baton Rouge? Possibly. Amidst the district's under-enrollment, there's a number of meetings going on about realignment plans, one of the goals being to address this crisis. Last night, teachers and community members packed Capital Elementary's auditorium, letting district know what they believe should happen with their schools when it comes to plans. Big reason for the potential realignment is that under-enrollment, so there might be some closures.
Number 4.
6 female students were arrested at Dutchtown High School in connection with 2 separate on-campus fights yesterday. The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, their spokesperson said all 6 students were arrested, charged with disturbing the peace before they were released to their parents.
Number 3.
1 person was injured in a shooting on Pembroke and 70th Avenue yesterday. The shooting was reported around 4:18 p.m. The person's condition is currently unknown, and there is no knowledge of any suspects or motives.
Number 2.
A man was arrested yesterday morning after he allegedly pulled a gun in the lobby of the Department of Transportation and Development headquarters. According to an email sent out to DOTD staff, the man placed the gun on his head, said he needed help from the officer on duty. BRPD officer at the security desk promptly arrested him.
Number 1.
Breck's Superintendent Corey Wilson announced at the Recreation and Park Commission meeting that he is not looking to renew his contract with the organization. This announcement comes after a proposed bill that would change the structure of the organization. If the bill passes, Breck would be overseen by the city parish and the 5 mayors within the parish. What's trending, John?
Well, President Donald Trump said on Thursday that he is asking Representative Elise, I apologize for the pronunciation, Stefanik to withdraw her nomination to be United Nations ambassador.
So he swung and missed on Matt Gaetz, and now he's swinging and missed on Elise Stefanik. I don't know if this, is this a big deal? It's being talked about a lot more than I feel like it should be.
Right. Yeah, and let's see. I was doing some research, and yeah, I mean, is it a good move? It's not what?
Well, but within the research, did you find the why?
For failing to protect. Let's see. That can't be right. Right. President Trump is delivering on his promise to hold universities like
no, that's
Columbia.
A completely separate thing.
That's
completely separate thing.
Right.
All right.
So just pulling up from some of the press releases here. So yeah, but other than that, I really don't see anything.
Everything I've seen has been from Stefanik's side saying she wants to be a team player.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
There's only so much bandwidth,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, tomorrow is election day in Louisiana, though it will likely result in minimal turnout everywhere except for St. George.
Yeah. Well, we heard the news from our own Secretary of State, Nancy Landry, talking about they're expecting 13 to 17% statewide. I wouldn't be shocked if the weather didn't affect that a little bit, in a negative manner, I mean, because we are looking at rain tomorrow. You heard that forecast from Emma Cade Cowan, starting tonight all the way through tomorrow, actually on into Sunday and Monday as well. We're looking at rain just across the board here. Tomorrow it's an 80% chance of rain, and it's just all the way through. I'm scrolling through the hour by hour, and I don't see an hour until you get to 7 p.m. where it lightens up.
Oof.
I know. And the polls are open till 8. So who's really going to sit there and do that? Who's going to say, okay, now we go?
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's going to affect it.
Yep.
No doubt at all. Hey, Brian, we've got a shark alligator rule story coming in from Livingston Parish this morning. Yeah, someone spotted a baby gator roaming around the neighborhood, and the sheriff's office was able to remove the less than 2-foot alligator. But the question has come up: if there's a baby, where's the mama?
It's a good question.
That's a
That's a
very
good question. Now, I had somebody message me saying, was it a pet?
A pet, only in South Louisiana. Only in Louisiana will
Would
that
you get a baby gator as a pet?
Yeah.
You keep it until it's too big to keep.
That wasn't everyone's, birthday present at 10 years old.
No.
Oh.
No, it was not.
It was just
No.
I didn't.
You ever held an alligator?
Of course.
You have?
Yeah.
How big?
Not that big.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. But my grandparents, they were alligator like hunters and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, they trapped
Like swamp
alligators and stuff.
people?
Yeah, before swamp people was swamp people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandparents still got some VHS tapes of them
But
going
like,
out. It's
no,
crazy.
but those alligators are dead by the time they get to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But as far as live gators, it's not impressive. Maybe
I was
2-3 feet.
I was at an event at the Louisiana State Museum it was during the legislative session last year. I believe it was during the session. And yeah, I got to hold an alligator.
Yeah.
I mean, its mouth was taped shut. Let's be real.
Of course.
Let's be real.
But still, nevertheless, I mean, it's still intimidating, right? I mean, just a whip of the tail can just,
Yeah, but 3 foot maybe on the gator, maybe a 3 foot gator. It was completely docile.
Harmless.
You could tell it was used to being handled.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Beat down by the man. Just
like, you know what? Just pick me up.
Yeah.
Just hold
this
me.
is going to happen. I don't care.
I'm not a threat.
I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
We're at 7-Eleven at Talk 107.3 FM. We are due up for a quick break. When we come back, we got State Representative Emily Chenevert slated to join us next. Before we take that break, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. You can check them out online at vexeuropean.com. V as in Vinny, vexeuropean.com. If you drive a European vehicle, you need to be in on this. I stumbled across them not too long ago because I've got a really, really old car, and Vinny and his team take care of my car and make sure that it's running at its peak performance. And I got to tell you, at 17 years old, this thing's got giddy up like I bought it yesterday. And that's because of the job that Vinny and his team do over at Vex European. So start off online, vexeuropean.com, find your make of vehicle. Then go over to the little specials tab. See if you can't save $100 or so on your first visit. Then you see that little button right there on the website that says appointments. Click it, easy as pie. From there, they've got you taken care of. They will match you with a technician who is an expert with your make of vehicle. So check them out at vexeuropean.com. Quick break. No,
sorry.
It's on me. It's on me.
I read that wrong. It was a pause.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It was an elongated pause on my end.
I'm sorry. Dang it. Sorry, man.
Matt, do you ever check out the Public Affairs Research Council guide? If you have problems with the language, and Debbie has problems with the language too. If you have problems with the language, PAR does a fantastic job. That's why we have Dr. Stephen Procopio on every election to give us the layperson's breakdown of it. Let me go see if she's here yet.
So you're responsible for holding the chicken necks, huh, Byron? Yeah, man, that's just what it was. I mean, I've never done it. I mean, I grew up in Dularge and Dulac, way down there, so it was nothing for. I mean, I've never just jumped into the bayou, but cousins and friends would just do it nonchalantly, and yeah, there were gators around. I mean, it just wasn't something that people seem to be fazed by. Oddly enough, I mean, it just didn't alarm anyone at all. That hey, 20 feet away, there's an alligator that can kill you, but hey, worth the risk, I guess.
Oh, we gotta start with that then. Absolutely, start with that.
For the movies.
$7:17. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, flying in hot, coming in on two wheels.
Yep.
Emily Chenevert, State Representative Chenevert. I assume you're coming in real fast because you've been out lying to the people about Amendment 2. Is that what's going on today?
Quite the opposite. That's right. As you can tell, Brian, my voice is a little hoarse this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke somewhere yesterday. Great meeting. I've been on the phone, text messages, so many conversations this week. So many conversations.
I would imagine. Are they productive though?
Yes, I will say this. So look, as many as your listeners, we all know that tomorrow is a big vote across the state of Louisiana. Obviously, in my area, the city of St. George, we have elections. I think we'll have to praying and believing that everyone in St. George will be out to vote. And we're all asking for some great support for the amendments, but Amendment 2, because this is for all of us in Louisiana. We're trying to come in and really do some great work within tax policy. And it is complicated because the tax policy is complicated in Louisiana. People have talked about this for 40 to 50 years.
Yes.
How do we make it better for business, keep people here? So that's what we're talking about around the state.
I always ask, why is it 115 pages long? Julie Emerson's bill from last session. And the answer is because we've had hundreds upon hundreds of amendments to this Constitution.
Right.
The constant, and I apologize for telling the same joke twice, but the Constitution today is to its original form what Darth Vader is to Anakin Skywalker. It's more machine than man. It's been morphed more than it originally was meant to be.
Look, what's interesting, so many times when we have amendments, I'll have people text and call me and say, hey, what is this? What are we doing? And I'm always happy to give people information on that, no matter what the amendment is. The thing is that it is complicated. It is, we have amended it over and over. And my question is, since the revisions, is our state getting better? Have we moved more to the top in business and in education and in every area?
Yep.
And so we are believing, and look, as new legislators, I'm going into my second year of my first term, but my fifth session, because we had so many sessions, which is unique. And so we are eager. We have lots of energy. A lot of us have young kids. A lot of us are, people are building businesses, and we want to make a state that we can live in, thrive in, where we're lowering taxes. Look, we did it in the tax session. We lowered it to a 3% flat income tax.
From 4.5 down to 3. Yep.
And that's where we're headed. And that's the goal of this. And so I want to encourage people, look, this has been out since November. I mean, I was looking at the other day in the retirement and the board of trustees that deals with these retirement counts for teachers, they came out in November, took a vote within their group to support this because they believed it was good for the teacher retirement and paying down some of this debt. So this isn't hidden. This isn't something that we're doing in a back room. This is the process. And people have been trying to work towards this for a long time. Look, we tried to do the idea of the Constitutional Convention, right? That was always been a discussion. And I'm supportive, but we've got to take these steps forward and vote yes. And let's continue to get in every year and tweak, because we've got to improve our state.
We could talk about a constitutional convention at some point. There's a lot on the docket for today. We're not going to get to
There's
it.
not.
But Amendment 2 does not undo the need for a constitutional convention. And I had Richard Nelson on, was yesterday or the day before, one of the two. I was trying to bait him into going off on that because I know that's one of his biggest soapboxes out there.
Yeah.
But what Amendment 2 does is it buys us time to continue to function at a reasonable level until we can get around to putting the right amount of time into a state constitution. And I can't help but notice, and I went off on this last hour, the most vocal opponent to Amendment 2 thus far has been, and I don't know what you've heard, but what I've heard, the most vocal opponent thus far has been Woody Jenkins. He helped write the 1974 Constitution.
Correct.
Why are we still listening to anybody who wrote the 1974 Constitution? From 1974 to today, we've done nothing but get worse.
Well,
with the exception of Cade Brumley bumping us up on the educational charts, we've done nothing but get worse. And I'm not blaming Woody Jenkins for any of our problems.
Correct.
But why would we listen to anybody who was in that room?
Right. Look, you mentioned, Dr. Cade Brumley, and I like to use that as an example. It takes a lot of bold change, innovative ideas, going back to this idea of the basics. Obviously, we look at the literacy, all of those things. And so I think we look at that as a model and say, okay, we're going to have to do this in other areas. And like 1974 Constitution, the end of the day, most people, when you look at this, it ties our hands in a way, in so many ways with dealing with budgeting. It ties our hands with some of these dedicated funds, which I am for. We are actually increasing one of our funds for savings up with this passage would increase it to 7.5%. It's at 4% of our revenues that come in. We're actually going to be increasing one of these funds and moving money over where it's going to reach that 7.5% stance pretty quick. So we're not like depleting everything and just saying we're not going to have any savings. I've seen some crazy stuff. I feel like on comments and some understanding. And so, look, all of us that are in there, and I say this, and so for people that don't know me, look, I was not in politics. No one in my family had run for office. It was one of those things where you want to get in and you want to get into the grind of what can we do better? What can we make? I know nothing's going to be perfect. We're not going to do the perfect, like every bill, every piece of policy, but that's what I love about being in the process. You're in it, you're discussing it, you're tweaking it. And I feel such great energy in talking to colleagues. I've been with them all week on conversations. And I mean, they are in it. They are committed to this. It's not just pass this and we're done. It's pass this and keep moving.
But you're not fighting. You're not fighting over the current, what's on the ballot. You're fighting on what's on the ballot plus 50 years worth of distrust in government.
That's right. That's right. And that's hard.
And this is going back to what I was talking about last hour was we elected an overwhelmingly huge freshman class in 2023.
Yes.
It is a class that is energetic. It is a class that is bright. It is a class that proved last year, throughout the year, like you said, 4 sessions last year, prove that you want to work for Louisiana. And when it comes time to put a little trust back into those who have said they want to work, I'm of the opinion, like, let's let y'all cook.
Right. And look, I always say all the time, my husband and I talk about this. I ran because you see things in government and you're frustrated, right? You see things that you come out of the COVID years, you come out of these years like, man, what is happening in government overreach? And so I feel the same as I was telling my constituents, I'm with you. And so I'm always careful. Hey, trust. I'm like, work with us because we're putting this to the vote of the people. We want to work with you. We want to keep bringing your taxes down. We want to get to could Louisiana get to a 0% income tax? A tax that just by getting up every day, you're taxed. Just by getting up and going to work every day, you get taxed.
Right.
What can we do to bring that down? We're on this path that we're trying to do. And look, you're looking at this fund, these funds. The reason is sometimes it's complicated and long because when you're moving one thing in tax policy, it's impacting something else. So you're constantly tweaking and fixing. And so we are on that path, and we're trying to get there. Because here's the other thing, Brian, we can't forget that we are competing with other states. Other states right now, they've gone to 0% income tax. They're lowering taxes across the board. They're doing great work. If we don't do something, then people will keep leaving. People will keep going somewhere else. We're not going to leave. Our kids will not stay here.
Correct.
That's our goal.
Yes. We look at this in a vacuum and not look at it in not just states that have gone to 0 income tax, states that are going to 0 income tax. Like, I don't know, our neighbors in Mississippi.
Right.
If you look around us right now, you've got Texas is already there. Mississippi's on its way. And I believe Arkansas is on its way as well. So
there's a lot of states like that. And I want to say it's not even just the income tax. It's other issues we know. We've got lots of things, But this is about we're moving a step forward in the right direction, keeping our state going forward. We're seeing some great announcements of businesses coming here. The state has seen that over the last few weeks. Let's keep going that direction versus halting it. And so I'm going to encourage people to vote yes on vote yes on this so that we can keep doing this and move our state forward.
I don't know if I've ever been like passionately in favor of an amendment before. Like that.
Well, I'm glad you can tell I'm passionate about it.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, like everyone I've talked to about this who has been in the room, who's in the state capitol, everybody who's talked about this, who is a stakeholder in this, is like, this is how we start to fix the problem. But we can't fix the problem unless we're given permission to fix the problem.
Right.
And that's where we're stuck right now.
Right.
Is those who want to find the smallest reason, those who want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Right. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Right? There's a perfect in the good. And so, but and there's been a lot of discussions too about the churches and
can we get into that?
Happy to. And look, and I tell people all the time, I am such a massive proponent of the local church, been a part of it since I was a little girl, believe in the local church and know that it's incredible impact in our community. There has been information out there that we are just, if this were to pass, that churches are going to lose their tax property. They're going to be taxed all of a sudden, their property. That could not be further from the truth, Brian.
Well, let's read the exact verbiage.
Read it.
Okay, here we go.
Read it right here.
Property owned by a nonprofit operated exclusively for religious purposes as a house of worship, residential housing for clergy, priests, or nuns, or a seminary or other educational institution training individuals for religious ministry shall be exempt from ad valorem tax pursuant to this section.
That's correct.
Now, I think the hang up here, there's one word hang up.
What
exclusively.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So a nonprofit property operated exclusively for religious purposes. So if I have a church, if my church, that I can make the argument that that's not even exclusive for worship.
Well, I mean, right. And I would tell you this too, is that what's interesting is I think it's very important when it says property owned by.
Right.
And I think I don't ever hear people mention that much, like property owned by a church used for religious purposes. Right. And in these conversations early on in that, so I'm like, man, property owned by, you got churches that houses of worship, everything my church does is for religious purposes.
Well,
right?
hang on.
If
I go to mass at Our Lady of Mercy on Sunday, and I get there a couple minutes early, and I decide that I've already read the readings for today, and I'm waiting for mass to start, I'm gonna go ahead and open my email. Well, now I'm not there exclusively for religious worship, am I?
Well, I mean, you can have a conversation in a parking lot, right?
Right. That's my point. If we want to nitpick and break it apart, I can do that with anything out there.
You could, I mean, and that's the thing is, we're nitpicking a thing to where everyone's freaking out about this idea that we're taxing churches all of a sudden, and we're not taxing churches.
Right.
And when this was written, I want to be very clear on this. There were people at the table, and I know there's a video that I've seen going around too, where at the table discussing this amendment. After this, they're sitting there saying the churches are like, we have some concerns. And then the author of the bill, which incredible woman who has been working incredibly hard, Chairwoman Julie Emerson, she even said in her op-ed talking about how we want to make sure that we agreed that the churches are different than the typical nonprofit, that we want to make sure that religious liberties are protected. And so in those conversations, like, no, it needs to stay in the Constitution. And she met with stakeholders and church leaders in those moments. They agreed on the language that they represented hundreds of churches across Louisiana. And so that's one of those things when we look at, I feel like we go back to this enemy of the, like we're,
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
So we're not taxing churches. And then still, Brian, to be honest, we've got the protections also of other buildings and the nonprofits in statute. Yes. And it is not a flippant vote, no matter how people have made this out to be a 2/3 vote on the House floor. We're not going in there with the intent to tax churches. It's not the intent. It's not the goal. And I've even heard people say, like, man, again, we're in session every year. We will constantly fix and tweak. But I will tell you this, churches, people that are in that house, I have seen, and one thing is very surprising. We may disagree on policy, but we may go to different houses of worship on Sunday, but we believe in the church. The Catholics, the Baptists, Pentecostals, non-denominational. We may not all agree on everything, but we know in this state that the church matters. And I'm committed to that as well.
There's a cynical side of me that says that the argument that y'all want to tax churches is nothing but a fear-mongering argument to pass the collection plate. I hesitate to say that right here, and I'm not even naming a single church. I'm not naming a single pastor out there. But if you could drum up some more dollars in the collection plate by creating an amount of fear, then by golly, we're going to do that. I don't want that to be the argument.
Well, and I understand. Yeah, I agree with you.
No, it's and that's me saying that.
No,
That
I
is
get it.
not you saying
I
that.
know.
That's my own. I'm digging my hole on this one. Because at the end of the day, whether it's constitutionally protected or it's in statute, a 2/3 vote, you're never going to get to a 2/3 vote because that's political suicide.
Political suicide. Imagine having 70 people on the House floor that all of a sudden everyone turned their back on the church.
Right?
I mean, this is what I tell people too as well.
Didn't y'all just vote the 10 Commandments up on our walls?
Well, it's right. It's,
Jeff Landry, I stole that from the governor. He used that line at the Rotary Club on
Did he?
Wednesday.
Did he?
Yep.
And look, and here's the thing: IRS protections are not in the United States Constitution; they are in statute. They're in statute as well. And here's the thing: it's crazy and wild as DC has gotten, and sometimes far removed from the pleadings and the hearts and what's going on in the states. Even they haven't gotten to that point. And so here's the thing: it is political suicide. We at the legislature will continue to protect the rights of churches. We're committed to that. I am committed to that. But no one is losing. Be very clear. This passes. They're not losing their property tax status. And so again, you say nonprofits are protected in statute. There's still high threshold in that. They're not, and so I think that's something that we have to make sure. And again, in those debates, people can come to committee, people can have these conversations with legislators. We're all doing it now. But we want to make sure that we're voting yes, we're moving our state forward in this. And look, we're looking at most state constitutions are in alignment with what we're doing right now. Once we were comparing across the country. A lot there.
We're just going to find reasons to stay mired where we've been. It's just, in the meanwhile, there's 3 other amendments on the ballot tomorrow.
Yes,
we didn't touch on any of them. St. George is looking for a school district. We didn't touch on that. There's a whole legislative session. We're already 3 minutes past news.
I'm so sorry. Look, hey, look, we can come back on and we can do something else. Another segment.
When they say we in radio, when we say we have a hard break, blew right past it. And I don't care. I'm not even apologetic.
And I didn't get to tell you my gator story. We'll have to save that for next time.
No. Can you squeeze it in 60 seconds?
Really quick, on a movie set, got challenged. We had live gators on set one day. And as a UPM, I was challenged as my stunt coordinators that have alligators for pets, by the way. I heard that conversation. They challenged me and said, hey, we're going to get the gator out. Come sit on the gator. Can you handle a gator? Don't give me a challenge. Sat on a live gator. They basically pull away. I'm sitting on this gator. And he starts hissing and the tail starts moving. So then I hopped off real quick. His mouth was taped. His mouth was taped.
Okay.
But still.
It's still.
Kind of intense.
It's a big animal.
Hey, a little intense, right? Don't give me a challenge because I may take it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. She's State Representative Emily Chenevert. Okay, we got to get you back on like within the next week or so. I need the legislative preview. So
happy to do it.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for confirming why I'm fired up. And we got a break. We're so long here. News, traffic, weather, Pennington Biomedical Research Center's next. Oh my God, that was fun.
I have a good time.
Wow.
I got nervous when I went downstairs and I'm like,
nope.
They're good. Okay, cool. It wasn't like, it's like okay.
There's so much there.
Hey, kill the mics.
Yep.
under over here, but like
I've spoken honestly about it, and I tell people all the time, I am been a part of local church, believe in local church. It is like my commitment. If there's anything there, we get down the road, the food is a concern. I will do something all over the house and say no,
that's right.
and that's how I feel.
Yes.
So, and there's some of those are the same way.
What?
And they're the same way.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, all right. See y'all later.
All right, have a good one.
Good morning.
Hello,
Hi. You are?
Ursula White.
Yes. Come on over.
Can I leave my purse here?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You running early?
I am. I figured I'd just come watch.
All good. All good. So my mom is finishing up study at Pennington.
Oh, really?
Not yours. What is hers?
Is it an exercise study, maybe? Or no,
Diet
they have a
study.
few. Oh, it's a diet study.
MEDITRE. Is that right? It's hers is almost over. That's how she spells it.
Okay. I'm not familiar by the acronym.
I've never seen the operation. Oh yeah, yeah. Is hers? Yeah. Can I set this to the side?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm John, by the way.
Time to get a look at your forecast, and yes, we have a wet weekend in store. Here's Emma Kate Cowan. Wow, I pissed a lot of people off. All right, fine.
Comes with it, I'm sure.
No, it does.
It comes
It
with
does.
it.
It's
Especially on certain topics, there's always going to be discourse with discussion. So, hey, got some people thinking.
I may have overstepped. I may have overstepped in the last second, saying that the religious motivation behind speaking on something political wasn't really about what was political, was about passing a budget.
Oh, well.
I may have overstepped. And by may have, I mean I'm pretty sure I did. I'll apologize after I lose on the weekend. So, all right. 739 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We've got Dr. Ursula White in. No, not to take my blood pressure after that last segment. We got Dr. Ursula White in from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center to talk about what they've got going on with the EAT2 study. Dr. White, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for coming in this morning. I greatly appreciate that.
Yes, thanks for the invitation.
So I am one of those ones that believes that we have one of the most underrated gems on the planet in our own backyard, and we don't talk about y'all enough. talk about Pennington. Is here in Baton Rouge, we just drive past you up Perkins Road every day, or Turner and Kenilworth, whatever. And we don't know what goes on behind those walls enough because y'all are doing some amazing work. One of the things you're working on is exploring how changes in fat tissue affect health. You talk about during weight gain and weight loss. This is the EAT2 study. Tell me all about it.
Yes. So weight gain is not really a habit that we like to discuss. It's not very popular, right? But let's face it, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Especially in the
Are you talking
population
to a
here
fat
in
guy? I know,
Louisiana.
yeah.
Here in Louisiana. And what we also know that a substantial number of those individuals will attempt to lose weight afterwards, right?
Right.
But what we don't really understand is how these short-term changes in body weight, i.e., weight gain followed by weight loss, impact your health both in the short term and the long term. So the EAT2 study is trying to address some of this issue. And it's also trying to understand how the fat tissue, because we know with weight gain, you gain more fat. With weight loss, you lose fat. But there are a lot of other changes that occur in the fat tissue that could impact health outcomes. So we're trying to investigate those.
So what you're looking at is while you're yo-yoing, like, because I'm
Absolutely.
one who in my adult
Weight
life,
cycle.
I've been as high as 275, I've been as low as 195.
Yes.
So like while you're going up and down, while
Yes.
it's fluctuating.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, you give a personal example, but we've all done it. I mean, if we think about several instances during the holidays, right?
Oh yeah.
So by the time you get to November, you know, your New Year's resolution is over. So you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to live my life from now until the end of the year. And in January, I'll get back on track. That's weight gain, weight loss. And then if we think about COVID, which is a prime example of that, I mean, suddenly you're active and you're living your life. And then all of a sudden you're home, you know, surrounded by the kitchen and the food and all the
Oh, yeah.
things. And then whenever the world reopened, you know, you're back to your normal routine. And so we also see this weight cycling phenomenon with that. So it's not germane to just you. It happens substantially across the population.
So getting on this path, this is, I mean, it's very specific.
Yes.
How did you narrow down to this part of wanting to look at this?
Yeah. So there's not a lot of information about these adaptations that happen. And so another idea is that, well, that's less understood, is what are the predictors of people being able to maintain weight after they lose weight? And why do some people have more of a predisposition to gain weight or regain weight? And
Okay.
so this also addresses that. So it's just really a hot topic in the field. And so this EAT2 study is really just a first step to start to investigate that.
We are talking with Dr. Ursula White from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center about the EAT2 study. Where are we in the study right now? How far along the process are we?
Yeah, so we have enrolled about half of our sample that we're looking to enroll. So it's ongoing. You can direct to the website and read more information about it. You can also click the button to screen for the study. One thing I do want to note is that, you know, because of the type of study that it is and the fact that you have to come to Pennington to see our beautiful facility, and we run, you know, a battery of tests, you know, to assess your health. And so you are compensated for your time that you come to Pennington. So if you complete all of the visits, the compensation is a little over $1,200.
That's pretty
If
cool.
you complete
For how
it.
long?
Yes. So the total duration of the study is around 4 months,
Okay.
roughly.
And what do they have to do over the course of that time with the regular visits and everything else?
Yeah, so when you first come, you know, we'll do a screening visit, you know, to see if you're eligible for the study. And then once you start the study, you will be randomized or randomly selected for one of the two groups. So there's a control group, and then there's the group that undergoes the weight change, which is the weight gain and the weight loss. And so once you start that, you come to this center roughly every 2 weeks. So we're not providing the food. You're able to eat whatever you want to eat. We want to make this as realistic as possible. So you're able to consume your typical diet, but we're just going to be monitoring you during the weight change. So there's 8 weeks for the weight gain component. And then right after that, there's 8 weeks immediately following for the weight loss. And so you'll have access to our fitness center. You'll be linked to a nutritionist to identify your goals, you know, that you want for this weight loss phase. And then during that time, you'll come to the center for 2 major visits where we will test your insulin sensitivity. So, a lot of people are familiar with that as related to type 2 diabetes. So we want to see, how your insulin sensitivity may change during this time. And we'll also collect adipose tissue biopsy. So it's just a small sample of fat. And again, we really want to know, other than just, broad scale changes, what's happening to the fat tissue. So we'll do the fat tissue collections. And then we'll do imaging scans, like DEXA and MRI to see where your fat is located, look at your lean body mass and things like that.
We've got Dr. Ursula White with us from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center. I think, Dr. White, it all just clicked with me just a second ago as to why all the pieces have come together here. You said it's about weight gain, but like not just the weight gain and the weight loss, but the regaining of weight. How much has the popularity of the semaglutide, the tirzepatide, how much of that has, because when you talk about regaining weight, everybody out there thinks, I could just get on the semaglutide, I could get on the Ozempic or whatever and like knock the weight off. But what's happening to my health as it's going down? And then once I'm off that prescription, once I'm off of that, if I put any back on, what's happening to my health within those timeframes? Is that part of what's contributed to the need for the study?
Absolutely. And the timing is perfect because that's exactly the point that we're trying to address. And I mean, there are a substantial number of people in the population that are taking these drugs.
Oh yeah.
But it's still too early to really tell what those long-term effects are. And what we also know is that after people stop taking the drugs, they do regain the weight.
Yes.
But there's a lot of variability with that, right? Some people are able to maintain the weight loss longer than others.
Mhm.
Some people regain pretty quickly. And so, the variability there leaves a lot of room for investigation. And so we're taking a first step at that.
So we're on the front end of this. We don't know a whole lot, but I'm sure we have some ideas as to where things are pointing here. What are kind of some of the red flags that you're going to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so I think one of the things will be and it sounds really elementary because you think, okay, if a person is overeating, they're automatically going to gain a substantial amount of weight. But really, there can be variability in how much weight a person can gain. Some people can be more likely to gain a lot more weight
Mhm.
versus others who may be somewhat resistant. So that's the first topic that we're addressing. We think that there will be variability in people's ability to even gain weight
Really?
with the overfeeding. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, and that's been demonstrated and shown in previous studies. Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
I thought the answer was going to be about all the side effects of the weight gain with the heart disease and the blood pressure, the
Mhm.
hypertension, the diabetes, like everything else that we see here in Louisiana that is so prevalent for, just about all of us.
Absolutely. And we have to keep in mind, keep it within context. We're recruiting a healthy population. So we're
Mhm.
not recruiting individuals that would have these associated diseases that you
Right.
name. And so the idea is that during this short-term period of time, while there may be some changes in their health, we wouldn't expect, people to develop that. A lot of those
Right.
diseases are more progressive diseases that happen over a period of time. So we wouldn't necessarily expect to see those type of effects with a study of this shorter duration.
Understood.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to go down this rabbit hole and really get into this conversation, but we only got a minute left.
Okay.
So we got to direct people to the website. Where do they go if they want to learn more or if they want to sign up?
Absolutely. www.pbrc.edu
Mhm.
is the website. And from there, you can see not just the E2 study, but you can also see many of the other clinical trials that we have going on. I'll make one point that this study is for individuals, men and women, between the ages of 18 and 45. But we do have studies that are for pediatric populations as well as older populations also. So go to the website and you'll be able to see E2 and all of the other great work that Pennington Biomedical is conducting.
PBRC.edu.
EDU.
You will find the studies there, 18 to 45 years old. She is Dr. Ursula White. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you so much.
All right, back on track. It's 7:50. Here's your money now. We're still on Facebook Live. Hang tight for 1 second. Okay. Why is the cutoff at 45?
So we are trying to avoid women who are undergoing or have transitioned to menopause because we know that menopause, the hormones, the fat distribution, all the things change in women when menopause hits.
Oh yeah, no.
So
Living
that's
it.
that's the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's so much
Interesting.
that happens with menopause. I mean, if we were recruiting 300 people, then maybe we could include, and because there may be
perimenopause would be its own study.
absolutely,
Oh yeah.
It's its own science.
No,
And so again, we try to keep the science. I mean, because we're already investigating a lot, so we don't want to add, too many confounding factors. So
understood.
that's the reason for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right. I was just curious
Yeah.
about that. So.
Yeah, that's why. Menopause.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, it was awesome. Good job.
Alrighty.
All right, we're gonna knock out just 2 more
No,
segments.
that's
and you're
fine.
out.
Is there coffee?
There is on the first floor. So if you
And
go,
good morning. And look, we can talk about whatever. I got a lot going on.
I don't know how much welcome I am to you. Oh yeah,
I got Breck. I got Breck. I'm trying to blow up because they can't get it right. I've got cats that's pissing away money. $40 per customer last year. We could do on-demand Ubers for way less and provide on-demand service.
Well, Cats came out with the damn on-demand service, and I'm like, are y'all trying to put Uber out of business?
I told them, if you do this, you put money back in the streets. Some of the people you're actually serving could actually then become employees of their own Uber. Anyway, so downstairs.
All right, so you go downstairs. When you go downstairs, turn left, and you're gonna see like a little like a green room lobby area. That I got 4 minutes.
I can find it. I mean, stop my point to the right. I'm gonna lose some weight. We got things right.
I'm glad the mayor of Central's still talking to me after I shit on the rest of Central this morning.
Right.
Woody Jenkins and Tony Spell. Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Call this number. Oh. 756 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So tomorrow is election day, and in keeping with tradition, we do our level best when it comes to covering elections. I mean, we got the LAB award right over there. But I get to keep my streak alive, John. I've never said no to a candidate looking to come on the air.
Yeah.
I've never said no. I do my level. It's only fair.
Right.
Anybody asks, anybody looking for airtime, anybody who wants to step up and serve the populace, we've got a home for them. And running for city council in St. George is Shannon Powell, who's on the phone with us right now. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well this morning. Running for council, are you running for one of the at-large seats or one of the district seats?
District 4 is what I'm running for, which is like the Shenandoah area.
Okay. What made you want to do that?
So I live in St. George, moved in the area about 2022. I really picked the area because it's family friendly. I am a widow with a baby, so it's just us two, and I needed her to have families around because I'm one and done. So Shenandoah caught my attention because it's got a lot of family energy. I love it. They have a lot of children, and they also have a lot of older people, a lot of seniors. I really enjoy seniors because they like to get involved in the community, and they like to play with the babies and all of the fun, sweet things. So I wanted to make sure that St. George kept its family vibe, but also I want to make sure that it's careful not to overspend or go too fast. I feel like they're moving really fast, and I want to make sure that we're building a solid foundation and being careful with our money and our movement so that we don't have to come back and make huge changes or, mess up anything major to where it's costly for the citizens.
So also running in District 4 is Patty Cook, Justin Turner, who was on the show the other day to talk about being opposed to the home rule charter, and I believe David Matafari's in that race as well. Shannon, the biggest issue, and I apologize the time is so short today, but we were going to squeeze you in wherever we can get you in. Biggest issue facing St. George right now, I would imagine, is making sure you're starting off on the right foot. How do you plan to do that?
So after I lost my husband, I had to be very careful with my money. It was limited. I was working a job in support of him. So I had to make sure to revamp everything and be careful not to make mistakes. So I want to do the same with St. George. I want to make sure that we're making smart moves. Also, I worked for a lot of nonprofits and criminal justice and other organizations. I want to make sure we're not turning away those resources that may bring services to the city to where the city is not coming out of pocket for those things. And also, like I said before, we're moving really fast, but I want to make sure that our fast movement is also smart movement. So I want to make sure that we're thinking clearly. I want to make sure the community fully understands and we have that community engagement and understanding so that we can move forward with everybody knowing what's going on and feeling safe in the decisions that we're making.
Got it in under the wire. She is Shannon Powell running out in St. George. I appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate you for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely. We invite everybody. All right, here comes news. It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, she emailed me on Wednesday, and I already knew all the Amendment 2 stuff was going to be coming up, and I'm like, I want to be fair to all the candidates. Justin Turner came in here and didn't mention running for council. He did not try to tout his own. He didn't campaign for himself while he was here. He campaigned against the home rule charter. Patty Cook's been on before for Mondays with the Mayor, and I don't know who David Matafari is. I would imagine. To be fair, you're 1/5 the size. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But and this is another part of it is you got the benefit of 20 years of hindsight.
Well, I got the benefit of I stand on the shoulders of giants, and that's what I tell St. George. I'm not telling you what's best or what's not.
But
$300,000 city employee cost you about $400,000.
Right.
And so, if anything, contract your city manager or let your private contractor do it. That's what we do.
The yeah, I'm so torn on it.
With David Barrow as our mayor. We got nothing. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm good friends with a couple of them, and I know where their heart's at. And it's one of those ones where you just, okay, you're gonna have to make your own mistakes.
Yeah, I look that. They have to learn.
Yeah, but they can't go another way than the way they're going. Because if not, there's always going to be the
right. I think where they screwed up, Brian, is what they put in the charter on how to change the charter. That they made it almost impossible to change, and that's a very bad thing. I don't think the salaries are an issue.
Am I the only one that walks out of that last interview saying, I have so many unanswered questions? Like, she sounds young. How did your husband die?
Right.
You talking about Chenevert?
No, Shannon Powell, this woman running for St. George
Yeah.
Council.
When she really, I don't know how she thinks she's going to get entities to come and pay for things in our city. DOTD and DPW in the parish don't do anything in Central. I got to do most everything.
Really? Yeah. That sucks.
Well, look, it's
still part of the parish. We're still a city parish government.
My approach is where we can work together. I encourage them to work with me. And my approach has always been, your approval rating sucks. Mine is really good. Let's work together, and you can look better. And so we've got DOTD. They gave and decided the roundabout at Sullivan and Hooper was going to happen because I told them the city's going to build it. Screw it. I'm not going to wait on y'all. They're like, well, that's our road. I said, it's my city. I'll build it. And so they called me the next day and said, Mayor, you buy the property and we'll build the roundabout.
Okay.
So, diplomacy, work with them, but potholes, right of ways, all that, we deal with all that. Maybe Jackson Park. Jackson Park on the brick thing?
What?
He got
is it?
Yeah, that's Jackson Park right there. It looks like it.
Is it? I've never known which part that was.
It may not be. That looks like the rear of Jackson Park.
It also looks like the top of the hill at Highland Road, but that overhang makes me think it's not.
I went out with FMM to put together an operations plan for the parks in Central.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the doors on a brand new building, I say brand new, it's 3 years old, had signs that said, do not use door for opening. I asked her, how long have these been up? She said a month.
So I have a content sponsorship with Breck on the show.
Yeah.
And they come on, talk about what they've got going on in their community calendar. And they come on like 6 months out of the year.
Their program is good, Brian.
Oh, I know. There's so much float. Like they could afford to do this instead of this. They can go here.
Well,
but to me, the biggest problem with Breck is threefold. Number one, city's not in charge of it. City parish not in charge of it. Which means that they've got way too much room to do whatever the hell they want to do, and they don't have to be held accountable to the city because they're held accountable to like their own
commission, which is a joke.
Their commission,
even though we've got a good
way too much power on their commission.
Yeah,
way too much power. Yeah. There's a whole lot of that commission believes I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Like that's.
I saw what they did to Dwayne Rogers.
Yes,
one of our appointments.
Yep. But their second problem is they have to do too many things with too many different people. And God bless Rolf McAllister, but he's not helping.
Yeah.
And the third problem is you're in Baton Rouge. You've got all the other problems of Baton Rouge that compound to where you're not the priority.
Right. But if
Ron's gonna be the priority. So.
We live?
Yep, we're back. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. We got Central's Mayor with Wade Evans coming up in just a little bit, and we're going to talk about cooking in Central, but we have got so many more topics to cover. In fact, as he's sitting across the room during the break right there, I'm wondering, like, why isn't he on all the time? So anyway, get ready because we're about to have a really, really good conversation. Not that we haven't already had so many good conversations today. Dr. White from Pennington on our last hour, State Representative Emily Chenevert in our last hour, going back to talking to Lake Urgent Care in the first hour. Been a busy show thus far, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. Don't forget, after we talk with Wade Evans, we've got the folks from Corks coming in this morning. Little Lenten fare for your Foodie Friday today. It's it's Friday. We're going to have seafood, right? We have to sacrifice and have fried shrimp. Or I don't even know what they're bringing today. I think they're going to get a little bit loose and bring something that might be not the regular shrimp and catfish that you get, which I shouldn't call it regular because it's awesome. John, you ever been by Corks?
I haven't.
Okay.
A lot of these places are introductions to me. They're just,
So Corks is right there on Government Street.
Yeah.
Closer to Mercy, like right by where it splits off with Jefferson Highway.
Right.
And it should be a testament to the job they do based off of, if nothing else, the fact that you've got to be going one direction to get there.
That's it.
Yeah. If you're headed away from downtown, you gotta make a U-turn to go. You have to be intentionally go to Corks. You can't just like swing on into the parking lot. So the fact that they are thriving tells me a little bit something because of the hindrances to get there. But they'll be around later on this hour. Right now, though, it is time to roll back the clock. It's time for This Day in History. All right. Yes. You're not on.
What the heck happened?
There you go.
Oh, there I am. Hey, 1885, the Salvation Army officially organized today.
Really?
Yeah. How's this for some Louisiana history? This day in 1930, the Louisiana State Penitentiary, also known as Angola Prison, and the Alcatraz of the South, begins operations today.
On this day in 1930?
1930, and it remains one of the largest.
The same day that Constantinople was renamed Istanbul?
Sure, absolutely. It's the same day.
All right.
Let's see. 1979, a partial meltdown of the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant in the U.S. results in the release of radioactive gas and iodine into the atmosphere, but there are no deaths.
Okay.
This isn't Chernobyl here.
Yeah.
Chernobyl, it just,
cooked.
Glad to be no deaths. Yeah. 2009, the first case of H1N1 swine flu in the United States occurs in 2 people in California. So that happened today.
All right.
Yeah. 2014, Russia increases the price of gas to Ukraine by 80%. Oof.
80%?
80%. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Tariffs don't sound too bad now, do
goes
they?
up by a dime, and I try to make it another day to see if it goes down again.
Right.
It's,
Matt, can you
download
imagine?
the Upside app.
My goodness.
You ever heard the commercial for the Upside app?
Yeah.
Yeah. You earn cash towards your cash back just by buying the gas you're already buying.
That's right.
And they make it sound like you can get rich off of it.
Of course.
But
it sells, right?
So here's the thing. You do earn money. And this is an unpaid endorsement, and I should probably hit them up. But you do earn money, but it's not nearly what it sounds like. Like on average, I'll earn about 8 cents a gallon.
Okay.
All right. So wait, hey, I'm filling up. I've got a 19-gallon tank. Then,
right.
That's what, just shy of $2. So
there you go.
If I'm making $2 every time I fill up with gas, then what? Every other week, I guess I fill up. So 52 weeks in the year divided by, that'd be about $50 a year if I'm doing the math right in my head.
Okay, well then.
And based off of yesterday's "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" segment, I think I'm doing the math right in my head.
I think so.
Day in 1942, the Delta Shipbuilding Company in New Orleans launched its first Liberty ship.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. And by the end of World War II, they will have launched 187 of them.
Ooh.
That's out of 2,700 that were produced overall. 187 come in right out of New Orleans.
Okay.
I'm loving this website that Condon gave me.
Yeah. Really good stuff. 2017 U.S. President Donald Trump signs energy independence executive order, undoing Obama climate control measures.
Yeah.
Hey, this day also in 2022, this is where actor Will Smith issues an apology on Instagram to Chris Rock for slapping him live during the ceremony.
Stupid train wreck of the whole thing.
Oh, man. You got anything else on this day?
No, I'm waiting on my birthdays to come up because
Ooh,
I don't think I have internet right now.
Oh,
I got a couple of them in the sports world, but
okay.
Yeah, I can't unless I can get my internet to come back up again. I'm going to be stuck with I've got 3 outside of it. Go ahead.
You want me to start?
You go.
I see.
You go, sir.
In sports, we got a top one here. Derek Carr today.
Yes.
Wasn't trying to steal your thunder.
Yes.
But while it was loading, I mean, it had to be mentioned, right?
I had Derek Carr down.
I know you did.
And
I
look,
figured you did.
Saints fans right now hate Derek Carr so much.
Right.
Like, over on 104.5, Matt Moscona hates Derek Carr so much that he hates Edna Carr. Like, that's how much he hates Derek Carr.
Wow. You know someone who doesn't get hate?
Oh, I want to know what's the cross reference to the number of people that got that joke. Like, all right, go ahead. Who else who do you not hate?
Vince Vaughn today. Vince Vaughn, Reba McEntire. Who can hate those people, right? What about Lady Gaga? Can you hate Lady Gaga?
A lot of people can hate Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
for sure.
People could definitely hate Lady Gaga.
Yep.
Let's see. Anybody else on your end? Is your
going
computer
back
caught
to the
up?
sports world, we had Byron Scott, former Lakers guard, former was it Hornets coach or Pelicans coach when he was here. Were we still the Hornets when he was here? Anyway, Byron Scott, former coach here at with the New Orleans basketball team. Yeah, I had 2 more. Dadgummit, this stupid internet. Nope, can't be reached. My site is completely down now.
Oh man.
Virginia Woolf was the only other one I had by memory.
Okay. Let's see. Famous deaths today are Dwight Eisenhower. Virginia Woolf here.
Virginia Woolf was a death.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's why I can't do things off memory.
She was born this. Oh, look, she was born this day too. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as recognizable deaths go. As far as dates, national days today, Barnum and Bailey Day today.
Hang on. Stop right there.
Okay.
We have to go back to 2 days ago.
What happened 2 days ago?
2 days ago, I didn't know this was a thing, but I was reminded like later on in the day. It was National Brian Day.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, I would have played on that.
So
I didn't
many
even
people
see
tagged
it.
me on Facebook later on the day, saying tag a Brian if you know a Brian. It was National Brian Day.
Oh my!
And I got 0 love on my own show.
Man, if I would have seen that though.
National Brian Day. What do you do on a National Brian Day?
What does one do on National Brian
You
Day?
complain about being tired. That's
I was gonna say take a nap, but yours is pretty much the opposite. It's like just stay awake, go full speed,
smash a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Hope the doctor from Pennington isn't still listening.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. We got the mayor of Central, Wade Evans, coming up in our next segment. Before we take that break, though, let me remind you about the folks over at Cajun Soft Wash. It is spring cleaning time, y'all. Give your house a look. Give your business a look. Not just at the walls. How about your roof? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Brian, this is my roof. I need to make sure it's protected. I don't need people stomping around up there, firing off a pressure washer. That's just going to kill off my shingles. No, quite the opposite. The algae and the mold and the mildew that's on your roof is going to kill your shingles or shorten their lifespan. And Cajun Soft Wash doesn't stomp around on your roof, and they sure as heck don't use a pressure washer. It's a 100% effective form of, with the chemicals they use, 100% effective at killing everything that would otherwise shorten the lifespan of your roof. Want to learn more about it? Visit CajunSoftWash.com, CajunSoftWash.com. Quick break. We're talking Central next. Hey! So my long running joke is that I hate the Falcons so much that I hate the Hawks.
Yeah,
So
make that this morning. I'm sure Todd McClure's listening. You know, he and Casey McKenzie and Corey.
Oh, and Gordy, they run together.
Well, I just sent him a text in the group about the sign on the coffee door.
Oh wait, what's the sign? Oh, the one that says "Don't open."
It said
the door, do not open.
Do not open. Yeah.
I said,
So somebody wrote an ES on the door that says does not open. Well, I put a post-it note over the ES that had a TH. Doth not open. I mean, if you're gonna be a dick, let's just be a dick.
well, I texted him. I said, Todd got the Zachary football team writing signs.
That's good.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff.
Oh man,
Man, I can come on and do segments whenever you need somebody.
let's roll. Yes.
I mean, because I got quick wit too. I'm
yes, yes. No, this is already.
and I got
working.
a face for radio.
That's the same. The follow up there is, and I got a voice for print.
Yes, that's it. Yes, indeed. Now, I enjoy the hell out of the job. I love doing what I do.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be where I'm at, literally. And I don't mind hard conversations.
We're grown-ups. I don't understand people that don't like hard conversations. Embrace the uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's how you grow.
That's how you get better. That's right.
Right. It's just so. Yeah, my oldest daughter is graduating St. Joseph's. She's been on the powerlifting team for 4 years. Her deadlift this year is only 20 pounds heavier than it was when she first started in her freshman year. And I'm like, you're not pushing yourself.
Right.
You've got to get, hey! I'm going to hang back for one segment.
Perfect time. Perfect time. Lenten breakfast.
Give me something fried. But I'm like, you got to push yourself. You got to be willing to fail.
Yeah.
Failure's not a bad thing. It's growth.
No, when you're lifting, you should probably attempt to fail about once every 2 or 3 weeks.
The same is true in grown-up life.
Yeah.
We retreat back into what's comfortable far too often.
Yep. Imagine all the great innovators. We got LSU calling.
Oh?
How long we got?
At about a minute and a half, probably 2.
This is Wade. Hey.
Either gone or re-up. Like now that he said he's out,
Well, I was, I just said in public. I don't want to talk.
Well, hang on. It's 820 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hey, John, remember last hour when me and Emily were going back and forth and we blew right past news?
Right.
Something's telling me that might happen again. I don't know. I know we have contractual obligations, but we got the mayor of Central in the house, Wade Evans, with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, Brian. Thank you.
How
for
is
having
it
me.
today? Is the first day that you're in studio? How have you not been cut loose on this show
Well,
before?
I've been busy. I've been busy for 2 years, man. We got a great thing happening, and I work about 80 hours a week taking care of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we start there then?
Yes.
Because there's another city that's just come into existence that everybody keeps comparing to y'all. And size-wise, I don't know how much is scalable between what Central does and what St. George could be looking at, but I'm sure you're in the thick of it. I'm sure you're on the receiving end of 100 phone calls a day.
So anything is scalable. I mean, think about it. If you're painting a house, you don't paint the whole house at once. You start here and you end there. And so it doesn't matter the geographical size or the number of people. Problems have to be addressed.
Right.
And so you can break them down into small segments and address them. And the way you do that is, you know, for us, when I got elected, I said, let's address the highest density of problems first, and then work our way out to where we have less issues. And you can do that anywhere. I mean, I've advised the mayor's team in Baton Rouge, you know, the way you improve is to start.
Yeah.
And you just start working, and then you scale up. And so you take that same model, and geographically you can zone it out, and you can do the same thing anywhere.
Right. I mean, it's a very like Eastern philosophy, almost Buddhist approach. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
Exactly.
You can't eat an elephant in one bite. That whole sort of
correct. And so that's the intention, and, you know, change the way government operates.
Yeah.
Don't make the citizens have to call us.
What's working in Central that they should be looking at?
The intentional approach to solving problems.
Okay.
Our citizens take notice. You know, we have workers show up in their yard when they haven't called. It's because we're intentionally addressing issues that we know are problems.
I mentioned what could St. George be looking at? What could Baton Rouge be looking at?
So look, like I said, it's a scalable model.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things is just for juxtaposition, in 2023, Central dug 55,000 linear feet of roadside ditch at a cost of $448,000. In 2023, East Baton Rouge Parish government dug 65,000 linear feet. So they dug 10,000 more linear feet than us, but they don't know what it cost. They don't know what it costs to do it. And my argument has always been, how do you build a budget if you don't understand what your costs are? And so how do we judge our success based on that? And so it's an entirely different philosophy than what government exists to do. We believe that government exists to provide a service, not a job.
Right. Wow. I mean, when summed up that way, changes the entire perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah. Service to taxpayers. They're the customer.
We got Central's Mayor Wade Evans in with us. There's a lot going on around town right now. I don't know how much you want to dive into today.
We can go until you're ready.
Okay.
Until you got to stop.
St. George has got a home rule charter on the ballot tomorrow. And I'm not asking you to take a side one way or the other, or be an endorsement, give an endorsement one or the other. But there's some good things and some bad things. Give me your breakdown of it.
Well, so if they're going to run a city similar to how we run, you need a manager. You need somebody to stay in the fray. And I'm probably not. There's probably not many mayors like I am that has been in business and contracting and doing all the things that we have to do on a daily basis that I understand. But you need a professional manager. However, how you acquire that manager depends on your approach. So Central has a city manager per se. All right. Matt Zieski is my program director for my general services contract.
Okay.
I present vision to Matt. Matt helps me calculate how to get it done, and we move forward. Matt doesn't get into politics. He just serves the people.
Okay.
And so a city manager is very much like that. And so you need that. Now, how do you achieve that? That's St. George to figure out.
Yeah.
But
so difference between a city manager and, like, let's say in Baton Rouge, difference between a city manager and a CAO would be what?
Well, I believe the CAO role, when Walter Mansour was doing it, was very much a city manager role.
Right.
I'm not sure we've had that type of CAO since.
Yeah.
And really and truly, the chief of staff should be managing all the staff in the mayor's office and, and dictating, communication and everything else to the public and taking care of that. And the CAO should be running the operation, the nuts and bolts. And so, unfortunately, they broke up public works years ago, and you've created some silos that you don't have good communication. You don't have symbiotic relations as far as
we
service
have Fred.
delivery. Yeah.
And
Fred's hands are tied.
No, I've said it so many times that my audience gets sick of it. Until we've cloned Fred Rayford, we have failed as a society.
Yes. I told the mayor president, if he didn't retain Fred, I was hiring him.
Fred, get an agent. You're hot right now, man.
He knows where the bones are, man. He knows where everything is. some people you keep around for their institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
If they provide nothing else but value for the institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
And Fred's that guy.
You know what I can't see? Fred on a beach.
He works too much.
I know.
He works part-time right now, and I think it's about 90 hours a week.
Right. All right, we let's get down back in. We get Central's mayor in with us, Wade Evans. Cooking at Central's coming up.
Cooking
that's
in Central.
that's the purpose of being here.
That is Central's festival.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking in Central. It was started about 17 years ago. It started as a way to raise money for our fledgling school system and to help our neighbors that were going through some tough times. And we just kept doing it. And when I got elected, I said, look, I met with the board and I thought the best way to keep this going long term is to quit focusing on how can we raise money and let's focus on how can we have a good time.
I want to pause right there though, because there's a money raising factor to this.
Yes.
And Cooking in Central raises money for Central schools.
Well,
now,
we used to.
Oh, what is it
now that Central schools are on their feet and
Yeah.
operating fine, we support the nonprofit sector in Central.
Okay.
So we have multiple organizations.
All right. Because I was going to ask, I mean, we were talking about all things being scalable. There isn't a government entity out there that isn't struggling for more dollars. And there isn't a government entity out there that turns to their populace to look to raise taxes. And every government entity out there, when they look to their populace to raise taxes, is told to pound sand because we're all tapped out.
And look, Central's very fortunate that we've been, we exist on a 2% sales tax for our operation. We don't levy a millage.
Right.
And our government is flush. And now with interest rates up, we're making about $3.5 million a year on interest. That's free money that I get to spend on roads. And so, when I got elected, we went to an active money management system where we communicate with our bank and our investment advisors on a regular basis to make sure that we're maximizing our investments through treasuries, as far as the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're flush with cash.
Yeah.
But there's limits on what government can do with that money. It's got, so our nonprofit sector suffers when people are tapped out. And so
yes,
we do fundraisers like Cooking in Central to help with that.
What are some of the nonprofits that are in the mix here? I hesitate to bring them up because I know if you don't want to,
yeah,
you're not gonna
I don't want
you to miss one, right?
Yeah, look, it's one of the big ones is, and I'm going to say this because Josh Austin, he's a buddy of mine, and it's Cast Iron Assistance, and that group, Johnny Anderson, Todd Termini, and the rest of the fellows that do that. And I'm bringing Josh up because he messed up one time and didn't add enough water, and his jambalaya was crunchy. And I'll never let him live it down, Brian. Yeah, I'll never let him live it down. Luckily, my teeth are good. I didn't chip one, but I joke. But look, Josh is he's won the cook-off like 5 years in a row. And I told him this year if he doesn't win, I'm going to say it was because there was one bowl that had crunchy rice.
All right. So the Cooking at Central is jambalaya, though, right?
Well, jambalaya, pasta, barbecue.
Uh-huh.
So tonight we'll have crawfish.
All right.
One of our local, one of my council members who owns a crawfish operation will be balling crawfish.
Okay.
At Cooking in Central tonight, and we'll have crawfish ball later tonight. There'll be, for those that don't like crawfish, hamburgers and hot dogs. And so tomorrow we'll have the barbecue cook-off and the other cook-offs.
Let's go.
We have a kid division. So kids can cook a little pot. We'll be judged separately. We've got Mayor President Edwards, Sheriff Gautreaux, Senator Rick Edmonds, yours truly, Wade Evans, and Lauren Lee will be judging that. She's one of the performers. So tonight we also have Thomas Kane playing, as well as Parish County Line. We'll be closing out tonight.
Awesome.
And then tomorrow we have Mason Shows, who does an amazing Elvis show. He's a young guy from our city. We'll be playing at 3.
Wait,
and then
wait.
he transforms, brother.
Oh,
to
all
the
right.
king.
I'm so intrigued.
Yes. Well, you should come out.
I just a young Elvis impersonator. I mean, it's a young person impersonating Elvis, not impersonating a young Elvis.
No,
but
no.
A young person who's interested enough in music past to really take on the persona.
Yeah, and look, he's a young man. He has Soto syndrome, and this is therapeutic for him.
Okay.
And it's really amazing to watch him transform into Elvis and put on this show. And he wiggles them hips and he does it all.
That's so cool.
And so, and then after that, we'll have our friend Chris LeBlanc, who I love. He's Central boy. He's going to jam for a while.
All right.
And then Lauren Lee and her band will close out the night tomorrow night.
All right.
So
And then it's all over after tomorrow night?
After tomorrow night, we're done, and I can go back to rest.
That's, well, you go back to your 80-hour work week.
That's
what
right.
you do. Where can folks go if they want to learn more, or where do they need to go when they just want to show up?
They need to go to Blackwater Road at Hooper and follow the signs. It's an
Okay.
amazing place. 13,000 block of Blackwater Road. You can't miss it. They can go to the City of Central's Facebook page or cookingincentral.com org or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm ill prepared for that, Brian.
That's
but
no, it's fine.
Google it and it'll show
Blackwater
up.
Road,
Yeah.
follow the signs.
Yeah,
That's
show up.
pretty darn
Plus, we got a big
self-explanatory.
carnival. There's a big carnival. We got our
What, like rides?
Yeah, man, big rides and Ferris wheels and all that good stuff. So bring your money, wear your Cajun Reeboks. Ladies, don't wear white shirts. It's supposed to be raining.
He is Central's Mayor Wade Evans. I can't believe it's taken this long to have you sit down with me. You got, I know it's an 80-hour work week, but you got to pencil in some time
We
to be a
definitely-
regular around here. Thank you
Yeah,
so
we'll
much.
definitely do it, Brian. I love to have a good time.
Awesome. We are, as promised, late for news. We got the folks from Corks in for Foodie Friday next. Oh my God, that was fun.
Thank you, brother.
I'm on the text Gordy. I'm like, why have you not turned this guy loose on me until now? And shoot. I meant to end the segment by saying Todd McClure is still Googling the definition of juxtaposition. That would have been great.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
I'm always good, man. I live a lovely life. I live in St. George, so I was interested in listening to what he had to say about it.
Yeah. Well, he's a great resource.
All right, Brian, y'all be good.
You too. Thank you so much. Have at it. Hello. No, it's not.
Your what?
No, it's
Are
not.
you kidding?
No, she is. She is totally lying. So I brought
Hey, Miss Judy. Yesterday,
I won't be. I'm Catholic, so I'll be skipping that one.
made it home.
I said I'm Catholic, so I'll be skipping that one.
For like 2 hours because of the headache. Thank you. Seriously, I was like, you got me. I was like, man, look at that.
Baby.
I went home and told my wife, I'm like,
I'll anoint you in a minute. Do you mind? I'm so serious. I'm the person they say to last to anoint somebody. And everybody fell out. They fall out. I said, oh, okay.
Oh my God in heaven.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I came.
Look at all this.
all right, let's get some barbecue in here. For the
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go for it. You brought barbecue too?
Yeah, he did. He did.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wait till the barbecue gets in before I take the pics. It's about to go down.
Man, today makes up for it.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to end the week. It's good to end the week on a really good show. How's business?
Great, man.
I cannot go over there without being at least 4 deep in line. Well, it's and y'all turn through them. It's not a wait. It's not a wait. But
You know, man, we've been a good 2.5 years. Getting busier and
I didn't know that.
busier and busier.
Okay. That'll work.
well,
Thank you,
remember.
sir.
Oh. Ooh.
Customers are really learning. Easy ways
I'll
to
eat it
use
for
the
you,
parking
dude.
lot. I heard you talking about that. I wanna
Yeah.
have that discussion. If there is a way to conveniently get to us,
Not
having to make that U-turn is miserable. It's not just any U-turn.
no. Well, you can make a left in the Shoppers Value is what I do.
Or what you do is you take a left at Foster, and then you take a right into the Circle K parking lot.
Oh my god!
Y'all connect to the Circle K parking
Yes.
lot.
And there's a little street that runs behind the Circle K called Garrig
Yes.
that you can pull into and then easily get there without making the U-turn. And we have, I mean, look, I have little maps printed out to give to customers. Point is, we definitely, customers have been figuring it out. But I want to discuss that on the air.
All right, there's the pic that's going to go along with it on it.
Okay, you texted to me.
Yeah.
Can I get a name for you, sir?
I'm Paul.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Last name MLADENKA.
Brought you a magnet.
Hey. Normally I wait until break.
Landon? Is that it?
Ladenko.
Yeah, so the L is silent. So it's Dinka.
Okay.
The L is silent. I've been mispronouncing your name the entire time I've known you.
It looks like Mla.
I've been mispronouncing the name the entire time I've known you.
But that's also half of the people that I've ever
Yeah.
known. So, yeah, the L, they tell me the L is silent.
All right.
I mean, that's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they told me.
I think they told you.
This is Crystal. Crystal has been working.
Is Crystal on mic? Are you on mic today?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was
Crystal's
gonna
been
get-
working with me for 10 years. Wow. 10 years. Long time. I need a water.
Oh, hang on. Give me 1 second.
There's a fountain right around the corner.
Yeah, I got a bottle right there. It's behind the table in a little bucket. All right, time to get a look at your forecast. Here's what we've got going on heading into what is going to be a wet weekend. We've got rain in store for tonight. In fact, it's right now it's looking at a 50-50 shot at rain for tonight, so we might not be too bad. Hour by hour wise, it's looking like we could catch some early afternoon showers or some mid-afternoon showers, I should say, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then it'll scale back a little bit. Later on this evening is when it really ramps up into the overnight hours. And tomorrow is where we're looking at the thick of this. 80% chance of rain tomorrow, 70% chance of rain on Sunday, 80% chance of rain on Monday, and then it scales back Tuesday, but it doesn't go away. It scales back to like 30% for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Your high today getting up to 79, your low tonight down to 67. Tomorrow we're getting up to 77 and then down to 69. And then get a load of this. When we do have that break in the rain on Sunday, a high of 86. Right now, we're at 70 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Well, let me redo the pic because you added to this. Pic. Isn't it glorious? All right. Oh.
Not Corks, but go ahead.
8:39 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Foodie Friday coming your way right now. And, well, I was touting this by saying we had some Lenten fare, but this is year-round, and it is glorious, and there's a couple of pans that I can't touch because I'm Catholic, and it's Friday. Paul Medenka from Corks and Kuyans is in with us. How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Hang on.
Doing great.
I got this set for the guy who's sitting down, not the guy who's standing up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now we're standing up. All right. You good?
Doing great, man. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you on. Glad to see that you said 2.5 years in already.
2.5 years at Corks.
That is
isn't that wild?
It feels like yesterday. It
I know
feels
it.
like yesterday we were having a discussion of if y'all could survive through Lent, you would be fine.
It's
Or
a
no,
good-
survive till Lent, you'd be fine.
That's right.
And then because and I was talking about this earlier with the location. We'll get into that in a second. But 2.5 years in.
2.5 years in, businesses. Look, you know how it is. I mean, the restaurant business, you serve a lot of great meals and you take care of a lot of good people and word spreads, right?
Yeah.
And we feel that the quality that we're serving and the speed generally that you can get it at is a very unique part of our concept. And Baton Rouge has really been enjoying it.
Talk about putting those two pieces together, quality plus speed, because we're talking about a lot of fried seafood here. Normally if that's something you're rushing or keeping under a heat lamp, you're going to lose the quality of the crispiness or the crunchiness on the outside. Y'all managed to combine these two things perfectly. How?
Well, it's all in our batter. I mean, we do a delicious, like it's a cornmeal and a corn flour batter.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives it, there's some different things that we put in that batter that help keep it crisp. Right.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, we have a lot of catering clients, believe it or not. And that's been a big part of our success since we've been doing Corks over the last couple of years. At Kuyon's across the river, of course,
Right.
catering is huge for us.
Mhm.
So we've learned that there's a lot of clients out there that are looking for good fish and shrimp, crawfish etouffee. We do the stuffed baked potatoes at Corks as well.
Yeah.
And that has been huge for us. And what's awesome, if you taste it at work and you love it, you typically look for where it came from. And we
Sure.
see a lot of those customers in the dining room. So Baton Rouge has been really good to us. Our catering clients from Kuyon's who have given Corks an opportunity to get their foot in the door at the biggest companies in the city. It's been great.
I mean, it's an added benefit to have the reputation of Kuyon's when you launch Corks.
Definitely.
I mean, that's, folks know what you're doing.
Well, we appreciate that. Kuyon's will be 16 in Port Allen in July. So it's crazy to think we've been over there since 2009.
Wow.
So Kuyon's is still going straight. Great crew, great staff, a lot of exciting things going on. But Corks, I think that I mentioned this a couple of years ago when we first came on, but one of our biggest intention with Corks was to get it out of this market, right? We felt like this would be look, if anybody knows really good Cajun cuisine and fried seafood, who is it? It's Baton Rouge, right?
Correct. Yes.
This is, in my opinion, the fried seafood capital of the world, right? I mean, who has more competition with fried seafood and Cajun cuisine than the Baton Rouge area,
Per
right?
capita would put us up there.
Maybe New Orleans, maybe Lafayette, right?
Could be, but I mean, we're in the conversation.
That's right. So we have teamed up with a firm out of Atlanta to help us take Corks to the national franchise market.
Okay.
And this is the first official announcement of me making this. Press release is coming out next week. The Corks franchise model is on the market. So we're really excited about this. CorksFranchising.com. We are ready. The goal is to start selling this concept in the Texas area.
Okay.
As soon as this spring. I mean, we're here. Michael and I have been working to make this happen for about 4 years, and we're really excited to bring it to the market.
The model that y'all have put out there, the job you're doing on Government Street, it's reassuring for me to hear that you have that level of confidence that it can be replicated elsewhere.
I do. I mean, if it can work in Baton Rouge, in one of the most competitive markets, and I heard you talking about this earlier. We know that location can be tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
The access, and we knew that getting into it. So, there have been some obstacles to overcome with that location. The visibility is not great. The access is not wonderful, but we have still been able to consistently put up some great numbers and develop a great business over there. So we think that given that we're in one of the most competitive markets in the country or in the world for this type of cuisine, the access, the location, and we're still thriving.
Yeah.
You put this thing in a market like Dallas or San Antonio or Houston,
right?
We think that it will absolutely crush.
We got Paul Mandinka from Corks in with us for Foodie Friday. Let's talk about the location here in Baton Rouge.
Sure.
Because you and I were talking during the break, and boy, you shared a little tip that I'm definitely going to take advantage of. So if I'm coming from here at Guarantee,
right,
and I go to Corks, I'm headed in the wrong direction because I can't immediately make a left into your parking lot. Now, what I've always done is going up to Shoppers Value and made a U-turn to get back on Government and then make a right into your parking lot. You were telling me during the break that there's an easier way if you're coming from Mid-City or coming from downtown through Mid-City to get to you.
Much easier. When you get to the stoplight at Foster, let's think about being in the vehicle together, right? We have Jack in the Box on our right. We have Albertsons on our left. We're at that light right there. You take a left at Foster and immediately take a right into that Circle K parking lot. Circle K and Cork share like a cross easement, and we have an agreement with them on that easement. And in addition to that, there's a street that runs right behind that Circle K called Garrig. So we have a lot of customers that are coming from Florida up Foster and can take a left onto Garrig and then into that Circle K parking lot. And then it's very easy to get into our spot.
And what's crazy, Paul, is the number of times that pulling out of Corks, I've cut through the Circle K parking lot because there's like 2-3 cars in front of me looking to turn right, then I'm just going to go around them and I'm going to pop out on Foster and then on the North Boulevard to come back downtown. The number of times I've used that method going in the opposite on my way out and never even thought about it on the way in.
Well, a customer shared it with me at the very beginning stages of Corks, and what you come to realize is that a lot of people who work and live in Mid-City, because of the road diet, because of the parking situation in some of those cases, you figure out where you're going, what turns you need to take to get where you need to be, and where you're going to park and all that. So fortunately for us, Brian, our customers are figuring out how to get there. They're bringing their friends, they're bringing their families, getting a ton of great reviews online. I think we have a 4.7 rating on Google right now with hundreds of reviews here in the Baton Rouge area. So,
Very cool.
Once again, if the folks in Baton Rouge are really enjoying it, we can't wait to get into other markets, let them enjoy it as well.
Looking forward to that conversation proceeding. Right now, though, because we got to walk this up to, I plan on trying a lot of this during the break here, although I've already dug in on the catfish. What have we got for us today?
Okay, so fish and shrimp, of course, we're here because, of course, these shrimp are my absolute favorite. I mean, my absolute favorite. I've done this comparison in the past, but I mean, these things are much bigger than a quarter.
Yeah.
Delicious Gulf shrimp, fried fish. This right here is a showstopper. It is a crawfish etouffee baked potato with fried shrimp on top.
Oh, that's
a little bit of cheese in the bottom. Fill it up with homemade Louisiana crawfish etouffee. Put some fried shrimp and green onion on top.
Okay.
You can get that at Corks or Couillon's.
Okay.
This is your white rice with crawfish etouffee, fried fish on top. One of our most popular dishes at Corks, and I didn't bring it to today, is the shrimp and grits. So you can also get our homemade cheese grits topped with crawfish etouffee and fried shrimp. Very good. This loaded baked potato with brisket on it that smoked for 16 hours last night is so good. One of our most popular dishes in Port Allen. And representing some Couillon's catering over here is a nice spread of smoked chicken, smoked sausage, and brisket, loaded baked potato casserole, Cajun rice, bread pudding. I kind of touched on it earlier, Brian, but our team in Port Allen, we're doing dozens and dozens of catering orders a week. I mean, sometimes 60, 70 plus catering orders a week. And some of my clients that are listening to me right now know just how easy and carefree we make it in Port Allen and at Corks. If you need food at your job, if you need something at your house, if you got a crew in, our team at both Couillon's and Corks make it super easy, super affordable, delicious, of course.
Yeah.
And look, when you're feeding a big group of people, you need somebody that you can depend on and rely on. And we know we bring that to the table.
All right, we're going to pick it up there in just a little bit. We got to take a break here in 60 seconds to meet up with Your Money Now. We'll check traffic one more time. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, stick around. We do the whole taste test during the break. Before we get you to break, though, I just knocked this thing into my own mouth. Knocked the microphone. Everything I got to eat in the studio.
Come on.
I knocked the microphone in my mouth. Got to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. If you are in any of the surrounding areas of Baton Rouge, if you're in Denham, if you're in Zachary, if you're in Clinton, if you're in Bruley on the west side, Landmark Bank's got you covered. In fact, go to LandmarkBankLA.com. Look up the different locations there to see if there's one in your backyard. What you get with Landmark Bank that you're not going to get from any of the, those national or international banks is a banker, a personal relationship. They started as a community bank over 100 years ago, and today they are a community bank, staying true to who they are and who they've always been. Check them out online at landmarkbankla.com. Here comes Your Money Now. You just hit the cord on the bottom of it. All right, what am I trying? Let's go.
This, yes. You're definitely going to want to try that. Yeah. We've got fish, we've got shrimp. Are you a tartar sauce man?
I am, yes.
So this tartar sauce, I know I really like tartar sauce. It's got 13 ingredients in it. We make it in-house. It is.
What tartar sauce is too?
It's phenomenal.
Well,
so if you like tartar sauce, this tartar sauce.
What sauce do I normally get when I go there? I don't know the name of it.
Pork sauce. It's like a spicy ranch.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some of that in here too. Of course, shrimp is delicious. You can have bread pudding today too.
Yes, I can. There's so much crawfish in here.
Now look, I'm gonna leave that. How many people do y'all have in the building today? 10-ish.
Yeah, sales is gonna come down.
Okay, well, look, I'm gonna leave all this for you guys.
I appreciate that. Holy God. Etouffee on top of the baked potato. All right, y'all know like who was the first person to put potato salad in their gumbo? I'm putting this on that level. Putting crawfish etouffee into a baked potato.
Let me ask you this question.
Forget rice.
Have you ever had a delicious southern fried pork chop smothered in crawfish etouffee before?
Oh my goodness. No, I have not.
Corks has that. And when I tell you it is sinful,
yeah,
it is so good. It's on the menu, but that is excellent. But I'm gonna tell you what, that pork chop with the crawfish etouffee on top with the rice, like I had to take a minute. You know,
process.
I had to go sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a pork chop. Corks will hurt you. Great pork chop. Oh boy.
Sorry. Sometimes sales doesn't know when Foodie Friday is actually here. So I'm just texting a couple of them to spread the word. All right. Yes, the crawfish etouffee. I didn't even get the shrimp. Push that down in there. Get a little bit of level top of it. Yeah.
It's such a good combo. The cheese, the potato, the etouffee, that shrimp. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like even this sit for a second. It still has a little bit of. It still has a little bit of crunch to it.
Yeah.
Even cold.
But so that I don't think that'll travel. That'll because if you lose the crispiness, if you lose the crunch on the shrimp adds to the whole thing. Yeah, like if I were stopping at Corks and I were ordering that to take it home, I would ask to have the shrimp just put on the side so it's not soaking up that etouffee the whole time.
And we do have customers that ask for that. Excellent.
And this is the spicy Cork sauce. Cade, Corks, come get it.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Yeah, David and I came by, got po' boys about
That's
5
right.
days ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, Corks.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Appreciated that. We were busy. We were real busy that day.
What's going on here? Is this the same etouffee?
Yeah,
Is it over
white rice. Yeah. Yeah, that was the power went out.
Oh, did it? It must have been before
It
or
was
after.
it was before you guys got there.
Okay. Okay.
The flavors in the etouffee. It's not like all pepper all day long. There's multiple flavors within there.
Definitely.
And that green onion sticks out too.
It does, man. You know, that etouffee recipe is something that we worked on for a long time. And you know, we've been working with our distributor to make sure that when Corks, as we do expand, that obviously we need to be able to get that coast to coast, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. The last year in particular has really been super educational and fun with the franchising aspect of taking it to the next level and trying to make it happen, you know. But in every aspect,
I guess I would imagine the biggest
supply.
hindrance you have is like when you get outside of Louisiana,
Mhm.
people don't know the difference between like you got to convince them you're not Long John Silver's
and
right?
Captain D's, right?
Yeah.
But guess what?
That's how quickly they.
And I wish I could find the picture, but you know, I have a cousin that lives in San Antonio that'll passes by Long John Silver, and there'll be like a line to the street, and he'll snap a picture and be like, "This is what's waiting on you," you know. So there are parts of the country where Captain D's and Long John Silver still thrive.
Well, yeah, because people from Alabama don't know better.
The further you get from the coast,
Mhm.
We'll see, man. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good couple of years.
856 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Foodie Friday continuing right now. We've got some Lenten fare going on today. We've got some Lenten unfair as well, as I got to look at this gorgeous barbecue and not dive in on that. Folks from Corks are in. Paul Medink is in with us. All right. I already know the fish and the shrimp inside and out. That's my go-to is the 2 pieces of fish and the 10 shrimp when that's on the menu.
It's a nice platter.
Yeah.
Nice plate.
Yeah, and I end up so full. Like you think it's only 2 pieces of fish and 10 shrimp. No, you end up completely full. So that's my go-to. I already know that. During the break, I tried the etouffee over the rice. Right, you get the crawfish etouffee over the rice. It is a phenomenal etouffee. It's not just all black pepper all day long. There are multiple flavors going into that. What do I need to know that you could share that's not, protected secret recipe?
Well, of course you start with that trinity, right? The onion, bell pepper, celery, garlic, and we have our own Cajun seasoning blend that we also put in there as well. And the key, of course, Louisiana crawfish makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Huge difference. And the better the crawfish that you use, the less oily it's going to be, the less fishy tasting it's going to be.
Yep.
And, as you can taste with some of those little chilies in there and some of the tomato, it just blends together so well. And just like you said, not too spicy, not too fishy, super smooth.
There's so many people don't understand the difference between spicy and seasoned.
Right.
This is seasoned.
That's
and
right.
It allows you to taste everything that's in it while it's all just completely blended together. Now, I want to make sure we're good on time on air. We're going to stick around on Facebook for a little bit after, for about a minute or two afterwards, but on air, I want to make sure we cover this.
Okay.
You've got crawfish etouffee on top of a baked potato, and then you got fried shrimp on top of that.
That's right.
I tried that during the break. All right. Y'all remember the first time somebody told you to put potato salad in your gumbo? I'm putting this on that level. This is that level where it's going to change the way I look at eating crawfish etouffee.
It is absolutely excellent. So we take these huge baked potatoes. We spread them open, put a little bit of shredded cheese in the bottom, fill it up with this homemade crawfish etouffee. Take 8 jumbo fried shrimp, Gulf fried shrimp.
Yes, sir.
Gulf fried shrimp. Put 8 of those on top, and just like you just did, that perfect bite with the potato and the cheese pull and the shrimp and the green onion. It is money.
Oh,
it is money. And you can get that at a drive-through.
Okay, but since we have a minute left, I do want to point this out though. If you're getting it at the drive-through, can they ask and say put the shrimp on the side?
Sure.
Because if the shrimp are soaking up that etouffee, they're going to lose that crunch, and that crunch adds so much to the whole thing.
Of course they can. Or you can just open the box and go ahead and start eating.
Well,
that's what or you can do
you
that.
got people honking at you from behind and whatnot. The other option would be just go inside.
That's right. That's right. And if you have been to Corks or Kuyans, you already know that our staff is going to take very good care of you.
You know where to find Corks on Government Street in Mid-City, just almost to Jefferson Highway. And, of course, Kuyans over on the west side. I didn't even get into the barbecue, so I don't have to go to confession yet. He is Paul Medenka. Thank you so much for a couple minutes.
Thank you
for
having
us on Facebook Live. We're going to keep going for another minute or so on Facebook Live. On air, we're all done. Moon Griffon's next. We'll see you Monday. All right, does somebody want to try the barbecue? Because I can't eat the meat. Come on. We got to get a full-on review here.
I don't know. I feel wrong now for. Oh well.
Trust me, that's not what I'm.
Full sauce. Yeah, here's some barbecue sauce.
I have barbecue sauce. Look, let me. There's plates. There's
sweet. I didn't even see the plates. Awesome. Man, what a my goodness. What are you even? Just get a little something, man. Just kind of a little taste of everything. Man.
All right. John's going to grab a piece of the barbecue and quick review.
Oh, wow. Like I said, I'm just gonna kind of, what do you, the sausage?
Taste the brisket and tell me.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Juicy?
Yeah, you got it is so tender. I mean, just falling. I mean, look at it. It's almost like falling apart.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Bread pudding.
fantastic.
I'm gonna have to get him back in after lunch because I want to know that.
Yeah, and also you mentioned the
It's just loaded baked potato
difference between
casserole.
seasoned and spicy.
Yeah,
and the sausage has all of it. Just a straight seasoning. It's good. The aftertaste is fantastic. It's great.
Brian,
Wow.
thank you so much for having me,
This
dude.
next level. Awesome.
always, man, always.
Really appreciate it. It's always a good time. And let me tell you what else. I enjoyed the shit out of your show, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do. You know, this day and age, I think I can speak for most people. Like, who do you even listen to? You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's gonna go cut off the Facebook.
No,
feed.
you're good.
So,
You're good, but it's true. But it's true. You know? And
well,
that's
I appreciate that.
You know, it's very hard to trust news and be able to listen to somebody who's relatively unbiased and tries to put out the facts in a classy manner.
Well,
And I really, you know,
yeah, Facebook. We gotta go. We'll see y'all.